In the NFC West, the Saints at 6-7. They've won 4 out of the last 6. They're still clinging to a shot at a wild card. While in the AFC Central, it is a scramble between Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Houston, all at 7-6. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Paul Maguire. Although this is a home game for the New Orleans Saints, there will be much support for Pittsburgh quarterback Bubby Brister. He grew up in Monroe, Louisiana, played his college ball at Northeast Louisiana.
Well, when you look at Brister's stats, 57%, better than 57% passing the ball. Is a homecoming nice? Except for one thing. The people that have watched the Pittsburgh Steelers for years know that they love to run the football. And if they're successful running the football in the first quarter, they're going to continue to do that. You may only see about 15 to 20 passes.
And the major topic of conversation here, the one-time Pitt running back, Craig Ironhead Hayward, now having a good year as the Saints fullback, but he says he wants to be traded. He says he's tired of being made a spectacle by head coach Jim Mora with regard to his weight, which is 260 plus. Hayward quoted as saying, "Who died and made Mora a physician and gave him the right to say what people should weigh."
See, I agree with Ironhead. I don't care what the man weighs. If he's performing his duties, he can run with the football. He's blocking well. He's catching the ball coming out of the backfield. Hey, leave the man alone.
And the Saints won the toss, and they will receive. As Gary Anderson gets set to kick it off. Fenelly, the first-year player out of Holy Cross. Penalty marker is down. A 23-yard return by Fenelly, who came on last week and had the big day against the Rams. 10 carries, 104 yards. Here comes Steve Walsh. And a look at the offensive line. Kevin Haberdink,
number 52,
back after a knee injury. Kept him out last week.
First down.
And you heard the penalty call against the Saints. Brian Ford, backup linebacker, called for the illegal block. So Steve Walsh at quarterback in his second year out of Miami. Reuben Mays and Craig Hayward are the running backs. And a look at the receivers. They go to the ace in a passing situation. John Tice comes in as the second tight end, and Gil Fenelly also checks in to the backfield. First down at the 11. And it's Hayward hearing it from the crowd. David Little, the inside linebacker, making the stop on Craig Hayward, who ripped off 12 on the opening play. The Steeler front seven, Willis, Williams, and Evans. Williams had what Chuck Knowles said was the best game of his 5-year career last week against New England. Strong linebacking core, Hinkle, Nickerson, Little, and Lloyd. And wholesale changes when they go to the dive and the passing down. You can see V.C. Freeman, Davidson, Woodruff, and Griffin all come on. And that the normal secondary, very strong secondary for the Pittsburgh Steelers. First down at the 23. And again the handoff, and again a big hole. It is another first down. Reuben Mays stopped by Carnell Lake. He picked up 18.
Well, Haverdink is back, 74. Dombrowski, the left guard and left tackle. Look on the right of your screen. They just get a good block right at the left guard tackle's position. And there's the center making an excellent block, and that's Hilgenberg. And there's the hole. First down again.
So the New Orleans Saints with the fast start as we open up. First down at the 41. And it's Gil Fenelly for a short pickup. Thomas Everett made the stop. Last week, the Saints beat the Rams in Anaheim. And New Orleans came up with big plays, something that they have lacked throughout the season. Absence of the big play has been most evident defensively, but they came up with a host of critical plays against the Rams.
And just remember, they're running this offense against the number 2 defense in the NFL.
It is a second down and 5. A long count. And it's the second back coming through, Reuben Mays. David Little making the stop.
All right, Marv, when you look at this defensive line now, look where they're trying to go up, right up in the middle. You got Hilgenberg, Trapillo, Brock, and they're all trying to block in the middle. And when they know that the New Orleans Saints are coming up inside like that, David Little, linebacker, is there getting an awful lot of help from Lorenzo Freeman. This is a good defensive line. You're going to run a few plays at him, but you're not going to make a living running consistently at that middle.
It is a 3rd down and 2 from the 49. And Walsh to throw for the first time. It is dropped by Eric Martin. David Johnson on the coverage. So after the early good runs by Mays and Hayward, the Saints are stopped. They're forced to punt.
All right, this is what happens when you have a quarterback who's a young quarterback. He has a favorite target. His favorite target is Eric Martin. Now, the coverage by David Johnson is right there. They know that almost 90% of the time he's going to throw the ball to Martin, so they just stayed close. Good coverage. Have the punt.
This is Tommy Barnhart, who is number 2 in punting in the NFL, averaging better than 43 per punt. And Rod Woodson, 3rd in the AFC in punt returns, is back at his 10. And it is a beauty. Fair catch. Handled in a very casual fashion by Woodson. 41-yard punt. And the Steelers will go to the offense when we come back.
Chevy's got this truck, S10EL. More mileage than the leading import for less money. I said that's more for less. I told Chevy if you tell everybody about it on television, everybody's going to want to do it. The imports will see it. They'll say, hey, we want to do that too. Chevy will say, nope, can't. More for less. That's ours. Then the government will say, maybe we could give the people more for... Nah, more for less. What a concept. Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat of America.
This year gave him one of the legends of the sea. Old Spice aftershave cologne and gift packs. Now being shipped in time for the holidays. So give him the clean, classic scent of Old Spice and celebrate goodwill toward men.
Hard to believe, but that was me, Dan Dierdorf, before I lost 40 pounds in 4 months with Ultra Slim Fast. Hey, I'm a big eater, but with Ultra Slim Fast, I never felt hungry. The plan is easy. I had a delicious shake for breakfast, another for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. I'm back to my college playing weight, and I feel terrific. Best of all, I'm not shaped like one of these anymore.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Head coach Jim Mora in his 5th season with the New Orleans Saints, following a 3-year stint with Philadelphia and Baltimore, the USFL, where he had great success observed by you.
That's right. When I'm looking at his hair, I saw him when we talked to him yesterday. I mean, it's starting to get grayer. Grayer.
The Saint defensive unit hearing it from the crowd as Pittsburgh starts out from the 10. 86 Green in motion. And Tim Worley is stopped by Pat Swilling. Well, the Steelers with Jackson, Blankenship, Dawson, Long, and Ilkin up front, and they have played well. Earl Hodge and Tim Worley are the running backs. Hodge coming off a 100-plus performance last week. Chris Callaway for the injured Lewis Lips. Lips back home in Pittsburgh with a bruised back. And when they go to the trips, the passing situation, White Stone checks in. 2nd down and 7. Just getting started here at the Louisiana Superdome with no score. Penalty marker is thrown. And Merrill Hodge, wide open, has a 1st down. But let's check out the penalty.
Number 65, John Jackson, moves at the left tackle. He moves before the play. You know what's really scary about this offense, though, don't you? Is that when you have Eric Green, the tight end, comes down in motion.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 65 offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Right here, right at the bottom of the screen, bottom right. You think he leaves a little early? You see Swilling out there, he wants to get a jump on him. But I'm not kidding you. Eric Green coming down from being split out and then comes into the middle and blocks. I mean, that is scary. That man is a tight end weighing 275 pounds plus.
Pittsburgh had only 2 penalties called against them last week. So they pick up their first, as indicated by the referee Howard Rowe. Tim Worley stopped once again. Wayne Martin, Jim Wilkes, the rookie Ronaldo Turnbull up front. Turnbull with 6 sacks leads NFC rookies. This may be the finest group of linebackers in the NFL. Jackson, Swilling, Mills, and Johnson all have made the Pro Bowl. When they go to the dime in a passing situation, they go 6 defensive backs. Vince Buck and Benny Thompson check in. That's the normal secondary. Massey and Cook at the corners, and Maxey and Atkins are the safety men. It's a 3rd down and 10 coming up, and as you can see, a New Orleans player is down. Looks to be Jim Wilkes, the nose tackle. Wilkes in his 10th year out of San Diego State. Man who played defensive end for 8 years and made the transition successfully to nose tackle last season. We'll be right back.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat. It started with a hand, because shape and feel are as significant as lens and shutter. Introducing the Infinity Super Zoom 330 from Olympus, where great pictures and great design go hand in hand.
The premium choice.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. By Bugle Boy Company, because any closet without Bugle Boy is an empty closet. And by Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Well, Jim Wilkes to the sidelines, shaken up. Will pass on a report as soon as it comes across. Replaced by Michael Simmons at the nose tackle position. 3rd down and 10 for the Steelers. And Brister unloads and completes for the 1st down across the 25. Chris Callaway, a rookie out of Michigan, a 4th-round draft pick with his 7th reception of the season. He went for 16. Robert Massey on the stop.
Callaway catches the ball, but most importantly, watch the time that Bubby Brister has. Look at the blocking up front. No one close. When you have this much time, then the receiver has time to get downfield 20 yards and pick up the 1st down. Nice catch by Chris Callaway, number 88.
Callaway filling in for the injured Louis Lips. Lips, a native of Reserve, Louisiana. You know, he hated to miss the trip back home. Off the delay, Tim Worley, and again they stack him up. Last week against New England, Worley went for 83 yards But again, he had some fumble difficulties.
Yeah, I was watching Green coming down in motion, Marv, and he's going to be blocking on Pat Swilling, number 56. Here he comes with the big guy. He almost wipes Bubby out. Bubby's got to move. Now watch this. Swilling does a great job. He just gets in the face. There's no place to really run. And look at, now Swilling doesn't make the tackle. He doesn't have to. He's got help from his friends on the inside. Vaughn Johnson gets in there, number 53. But when you come down a line like Green did there, you've got to wipe the guy out. You can't be dancing with him.
Hodge, the lone deep back for this 2nd down and 9 from the 27. Again, Green in motion. And it's Hodge out to the 28-yard line. The Steelers offensive coordinator, Joe Walton, was telling us last night that he hopes to use the tight end Eric Green more and more as a wide receiver. He said Eric moves his body like a wide receiver, and you don't realize how fast he is. He may redefine the tight end position.
He may be the first tight end in the history of pro football with legitimate speed at 300 pounds.
Nice sweater by Joe.
No, it's Christmas season. He looks good.
3rd down and 7. Brister off the roll. Little ad-lib work by Bubby, and completes at the sideline for the 1st down. Well, Bubby Brister directing traffic as he rolled out, and then was able to connect to Dwight Stone.
All right, we'll take a look what Brister does. When he rolls out, you say directing traffic. What he wants now is somebody to go deep. Somebody take off. I've got time. And then he sees Stone coming back, settling down right at the sideline. He settles down. Now, there's Stone getting nailed downfield. That's okay. Atkins hits him. But take a look. Look at the defensive secondary. Now, the guy that's heads downfield is Green. Excuse me, it wasn't Green. It was Malarkey, I think.
Nevertheless, 15-yard pickup. And off the screen, that pass intended for Hodge. Joe Walton chatting with Dwight Stone, who had to be happy about that reception a moment ago. He's had problems holding on to the ball in recent games. And Dwight Stone checks in with the play. In his 4th season out of Middle Tennessee State, so Stone now passes it on to Bubby Brister. You recall earlier in the season they were having all kinds of problems in this situation.
But what Brister does, first of all, he'll get the formation from the sideline before Stone even gets there. Then Stone comes in, he calls the formation, Stone comes in and gives him the play.
2nd down and 10 from the 44. Worley. Tim Worley finding the hole, and he collects a 1st down to the New Orleans 45-yard line. Free safety Gene Atkins on the stop. Worley went for 11.
Right side of the line, Long, Elkin, and Dawson take a look at the blocking. They just seal off right here. Everyone seals off. Blankenship 60 gets in there and finishes the seal to the right. Worley comes through. You better get out of the way. That's the umpire. If you don't get out of the way, he's going to take you with him. But he picked up the 1st down. He almost made a nice tackle there.
Tim Worley in his 2nd year out of University of Georgia came on strong at the end of last season. Earlier in the year, he had fumble difficulties. And Brister with the bullet right at the marker for Derek Hill. So Bubby Brister opening up in sharp fashion. Hill was met by the left corner, Robert Massey. And it is another Pittsburgh 1st down.
What a perfect pass. This is, watch Brister. I mean, he's going to drill this ball. There's just no chance for Massey to get there and make the play. Hill gets the 1st down. But the Steelers do most of their passing off of play action, which is set up by their running plays. When you run the ball well, it sets up the pass.
Bubby Brister has come out throwing 4 for 5. Our conversations with some of the Saint defenders yesterday pointed to the fact they would like to see Pittsburgh put it in the air. Here's Worley. A hard hit as Worley went for just a couple.
That was Vaughn Johnson, number 53, that made the play on Worley. Coming to the outside. Here comes Green down the line of scrimmage. Now, Green hesitates here. The man he's supposed to block is Swilling. But see what Swilling does? He gets out, and he's taken on by 2 guys. Hodge gets there, and then you see number 53, Vaughn Johnson, come in and finish it off. But Swilling is a tremendous linebacker. He takes on 2 players, and he still has the presence of mind to get in on the play.
Second down and 8 at the New Orleans 32. Brister goes sideline, and it's broken up. Strong coverage by Robert Massey on Dwight Stone.
Well, that time what happened is that Brister got the ball there late. Had he gotten the ball there a little sooner, that would have been a completion a little bit further to the outside. The ball was thrown back to the inside. Now, coming back, look where the ball is thrown. Back to the inside. That's Hill, Derek Hill, on the reception. But when the ball's thrown back inside like that, Robert Massey has a chance to get in and knock the ball away. Excellent defense. Pass could have been wider.
It is a third down and 8. 4:40 remaining. First quarter with no score. Fake handoff. Brister in trouble. Runs inside the 30-yard line.
I don't know if this is a busted play or not, because watch what happened. Here comes Green back down in motion. He's knocking off his own people, knocking offensive linemen out of the way. Hodge looks right away, and he just turns around and tells Bubby, start moving. Now Mills is there, and number 57, Jackson's there. Brister did the one smart thing, get down.
46-yard attempt for Gary Anderson. So it is a rare miss for Anderson. We'll be right back.
Chevrolet Geo winter time, where everyone can win with the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America.
Sir, what's your favorite color?
Medium Quasar Blue Metallic.
Good guess. You can win with cash back or low financing on any Geo. Tracker, Storm, Prism. Miss, come here often?
I've never even bought a new car before.
Well, then you can win with a first-time buyer bonus on any Geo.
I love this Metro.
I can tell. Get to know Geo during wintertime at your Chevy Geo dealer.
A voice from the grave unlocks the clues to a haunting murder mystery. Plus the shocking story of a CIA hitman whose cover is blown. An all-new Unsolved Mysteries on NBC Wednesday.
Well, Gary Anderson, usually so proficient from long range. He was 6 for 7 between 40 and 49 yards away. And as you can see, we have 2 of the finest kickers in the game here. Gary Anderson and Morton Anderson competing with Pittsburgh and New Orleans. So Anderson missing from long range a moment ago, and New Orleans takes over at their 29-yard line. Craig Hayward picked up a yard on the play. We're set for an update. Let's go to Bob Costas at NFL Live.
All right, Marv, this is Warren Moon's 30th touchdown pass of the year. Set up by a 33-yarder to Haywood Jeffries. Then he's into the end zone with his 24-yarder to Tony Jones. Houston jumps in front at Arrowhead, 7-0 over the Chiefs in the first. Marv?
Art Bob, word passed on from the New Orleans sideline. Left defensive end Wayne Martin injured a knee, and he is out for the rest of the way. And nose tackle Jim Wilkes, who you saw go down earlier, suffered a sprained ankle. It is a hope that he'll be back. Second down play. Reuben Mays with a good second effort. Reuben Mays last week against the Rams carried twice. Picked up only 3 yards in the first half, which led to Gil Fennedy getting an opportunity. Penalty marker has been thrown. And the hold against the Saints.
You know, when you have a
Holding,
team that's
number 72 offense, 10-yard penalty.
That's Dombrowski.
Second down.
But when you have a team that's struggling like the Saints have been up and down all year long, and you're moving the ball, they did it in the first drive. They moved it fairly well, made a couple of mistakes. But penalties, and this is what drives this man crazy. He said, we do some of the dumbest things that beat us. We beat ourselves.
Coming in, the Saints tied for the 3rd wild card spot with Dallas, Green Bay, and Minnesota. They have slim hopes and need a victory today in the hunt with Green Bay, Minnesota, Dallas, and Philadelphia. Here's Walsh, and able to complete a 17-yard pickup as he combined with Brett Perryman. Perryman, in his 3rd year out of Miami, goes only 5'9", 180, but he can leap.
He can leap and he can catch. Watch Perryman coming from the right of your screen. He comes into the picture right now. Rod Woodson is covering, does not close fast enough. Number 37 is Carnell Lake, and he's sitting back as a safety. Did not read the pattern. They're trying to read the quarterback's eyes. And Walsh told us yesterday, what he's got to learn how to do is to look people off.
Yes, he's very candid about the fact that he's had some difficulty reading defenses and looking people off. Thought he had it down in Dallas, but now he's into a new system. 3rd down, about a yard, and that's a loss. Hayward stopped. The ball was jarred loose. The Steelers claiming that they recovered, but apparently the whistle had blown, and New Orleans maintains possession, but they'll have to go into punt formation.
I mean, you got a guy like Hayward, it's upwards of 260 pounds. When you run him into a play, why would you run him off on an angle where you decrease some of his power? Run him straight up into the hole. Or at least if he takes someone on, he can go forward.
And this is Tommy Barnhart punting for the 2nd time. He is at his 23. The always dangerous Rod Woodson is back. 40 seconds to go. First quarter. The Steelers and Saints are scoreless. And Woodson on the return. Oh, he took a hard hit. He was jarred and shaken up. Took a shot from Buford Jordan. There he is. Buford Jordan, 5th-year player out of McNeese State, with a solid hit on Rod Woodson. 49-yard punt and a 19-yard return.
These people are about to become winners during Chevrolet Geo wintertime.
Sir, what is the best-selling line of cars and which trucks are more people switching to? Starts with C.
Chevy.
Brilliant. You can win with cashback or low financing. Miss, who has the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America?
I know this.
Getting to know you.
Gee, oh.
Yes, Geo, you can win with a first-time buyer bonus.
I knew that.
You too can be a winner during wintertime at your Chevy Geo dealer.
Fathom Cologne. For men of motion, whose emotions run deep. Fathom. For men of motion, whose thoughts run deep. Fathom. For men of motion, whose feelings run deep. Fathom. A fresh, new, thrilling cologne. Fathom for men whose emotions run deep. Fathom. Cologne for men.
They say drink plenty of fluids. Swallowing's total pain.
To stop sore throat pain fast, Advanced Formula Chloraseptic has the power of phenol. It penetrates nerve endings to work on contact, so it gives the fastest relief. And nothing lasts longer. Advanced Formula Chloraseptic. works fastest, and nothing lasts longer. For fast relief when you're away from your spray, also try great-tasting chloroseptic lozenges.
The Bengals. The Raiders. Boomer and Bo. Next.
Number 33 is Spears. 50 is Little. Watch Spears disappear. Ding. That's called blocking on punt returns. I love it. Yeah.
First quarter winding down as Pittsburgh takes over at its 31. Earl Hodge out to the 37-yard line, met by the inside linebacker Vaughn Johnson. Hodge goes for 8. That's it for the first quarter. The Steelers and the Saints are scoreless here at the Superdome.
Some people see shaving as something you do for 3 minutes a day. At Braun, we see it as something you do for a lifetime. And we think you should make the best of it. The Braun Shaver, with its 3 shaving positions. Designed for those who choose to make a virtue out of necessity. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
When you're out street hiking, you better know how to read the terrain. Do your best to preserve the wildlife, because street hikers don't just walk, they hike. Fresh views, Joe.
You know, Ace is a place for all kinds of holiday stuff.
Stuff?
From the tree and all the trimmings
Oh, we
to
have
the right stuff to put under it.
This Ace Ultra Blue flashlight with alkaline batteries only $366 and a Polaroid high-grade video 3-pack just $888.
When it's time for ho, 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 Ace is the place for me.
Thrill of their lifetime and yours. The NBA on NBC.
Well, a look at the stats after one, a scoreless first quarter. Bubby Brister, though, throwing the ball in the first quarter, which is a surprise. Hit 4 out of 5, and it was thought that Pittsburgh would stay on the ground as they did so successfully last week against the Patriots.
Well, the first couple of plays didn't work very well, and that's why they started to throw the ball. On the other hand, when you look at New Orleans, Walsh, when they started out 2 first downs right off the bat. First and 10, they picked up 12. First and 10, they picked up 11. So they're only throwing the ball when they have to throw the ball. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more to beat Pittsburgh.
All right, second down play coming up. Second and 2. We're just underway in the second quarter. 86 Green again peels off. Brister with time, and it is through the hands of Chris Callaway. So a third down play upcoming. Offensive coordinator Joe Walton spent 7 seasons head coach of the Jets, 2 as offensive coordinator. Began slowly for Joe in Pittsburgh. The Steeler offense not score a touchdown first 4 games. Bubby Brister complaining that the offense was too complicated. Chuck Noll continued to support Joe Walton, and it eventually turned out in positive fashion. Again, Brister off the fake handoff. On the screen, Green took a pop. And that is a very difficult man to bring down. The free safety, Gene Atkins, finally did.
Marv, the reason I'm laughing is Green catches the ball. Gene Atkins, number 28, he comes up and he hits Green as hard as he's going to hit him. Here he comes out first of all. Now he's going to block first on Swilling. Here. Slips out. Brister sees him. Watch this. Now watch Atkins. Bang. Help. I need some help now. Can I have some help here?
Now Atkins goes 6'1", 200, but that man tips the scale at about 275. He's 6'5". Joe Walton was telling us in this case he doesn't care how much he weighs. He can see him going up another 15 pounds.
They say, you know, the amazing part about him, Green, is that they say that his upper body can be developed and put on maybe 15 or 20 more pounds. We got a flag on the top up there.
All right, here's Howard Rowe. Discussing it with the strong safety, Brett Maxey.
4th down.
We've got a live ball spike. Delay of game offense. Penalty is refused. Brings up 4th down.
A live ball spike.
Well, see, as long as the clock is running, you can't spike the ball. Now, here's Green. He's down. And they're spiking Green. They got a live player spike here. But when he gets up, he spikes the ball. And that is a no-no. But if that would have been an incompleted pass and he grabbed the ball and spiked, it wouldn't make any difference because the clock is stopped. It's delay a game.
So Dan Straczynski, who spent some time in the New Orleans camp, he was a member of the developmental squad, is back to punt for the first time. And Vince Buck, a rookie from Central State, is the deep man. Straczynski has had an excellent season.
I think what Jim Moore is out there talking about is they want the penalty. After the play is over, the penalty should be marked off because the play is over. I mean, he's going to get the ball, but he also wants the penalty.
So Moore continuing the discussion. But the play stands as called.
See what Morris saying is this is after he was down, the whistle had blown. Now this penalty should be marked off, and it isn't.
So Straczynski back at his 25. And Vince Buck with the signal for the fair catch. And New Orleans back to the offense across the 15-yard line. It's a 45-yard punt by Straczynski. We'll be right back.
No matter where you look, there's Mazda. We're introducing new products like the Miata, setting new sales records, winning the respect of the automotive press, and winning awards for both quality and customer satisfaction. But most important, we're making thousands of people feel just right.
It just feels right. Wild thing. It is a wild thing. Oh, come shout and sing, join in the ring. It could be queen or it could be king. You go your way and I'll go mine. As long as you just make it fine.
Good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never let you down.
Wild thing. Wild thing. Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegance. Oh, his citizen, citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, every elegant citizen. We've got elegance.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
All right, Marv, let me explain the rule. First of all, it's a continuous action penalty. In other words, what the officials told Coach Mora, because the clock was still running, if they would have accepted the penalty, it would have been a 5-yard penalty and repeat the down. And he said no, this was after the play was over, blown dead, but the clock is still going according to the officials, so there is no penalty unless they get the down over again.
And New Orleans first down from the 15. Pittsburgh in New Orleans, no score, opening minute, second quarter. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire from the Superdome. And again, the handoff to Reuben Mays. Houston in front of Kansas City, 7-0. Seattle leads Miami. Dolphins gunning for the home field advantage, trying to stay with the Buffalo Bills. Dallas leading Phoenix. And the Jets jumping in front of Indianapolis 14-3 in the second. It is a second down and 7.
They all have new sweaters, huh?
Play action and incomplete. Pass intended for the tight end, Hobie Brenner.
That was a bad choice. Walsh that time went down, and Hobie Brenner was covered by 2 linebackers and a defensive back. It was just not a very good choice on his part.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys gave up what proved to be the first pick of the 1990 draft when they selected Steve Walsh in the supplemental draft last year as a rookie with the Cowboys. Started 5 games after Troy Aikman broke his finger. Started in Dallas's only win last year at Washington. And has emerged as the starter here with the Saints. And is broken up. Gerald Alfin could not hold on. Covered by the left corner, David Johnson.
Well, this is twice now we've seen David Johnson with excellent coverage. First in the first quarter on Eric Martin, now on Alfin. Look at this. Number 44, Johnson coming in. Look at this coverage. That's perfect. And that is excellent timing. He is going for the ball. That is not pass interference.
Tommy Barnhart back to punt. Barnhart back at his 3. And there's Rod Woodson. Last time he was in punt coverage, he took that hard hit from Buford Jordan. Short. Woodson from his 45. Again, good coverage by the Saints. Brian Ford on the stop, 37-yard punt, and Woodson lost 2 on the return.
What is the image of a rebel? These are the images of a rebel. Canon's revolutionary new autofocus EOS Rebel. So easy to use, you can stop taking snapshots and start taking photographs.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
It may have been 30 years ago, or just yesterday, a roadster caught your eye, and you've never been quite the same. The Mazda Miata.
It just feels right.
One day there was just too much gray. I thought, should I or shouldn't I? I didn't. I was afraid it might look phony. I wanted natural-looking color, and I wanted to do it right, with no pouring and mixing. Nobody else could give me what I wanted until Clairol Option Instant for Men. I figured if it's from Clairol, I could trust it. I could. I went from gray to my natural-looking color in 5 easy minutes. My hair looks great, feels great. When I look in the mirror, I don't see gray. I see me.
Do it right with Option, also in gradual formula.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. By Canon, photographic consultant to the National Football League. By Hickory Farms, the gift everyone loves to get. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
Yep. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. The Steelers and the Saints are no score. And New Orleans first down from the 43. Hodge and Worley are the running backs. This is Worley. Tim Worley with the pickup of 6 on the play. It'll be a second down and 4. There's Wayne Martin, who went out early with a knee problem, and he has had it for the rest of the game. Wayne Martin in his second season out of Arkansas. #1 draft pick last year. They're calling it a 2nd down and 5.
And if the Steelers can end up on 1st down, get 5 yards, they will stay on the ground. They'll probably end up passing out, but I mean, that's where they like to stay, is on the ground. Time.
Bubby Brister calling the timeout. So the Steelers take their first timeout of the ball game. Bubby Brister with many ties to this area. He attended high school in Monroe, Louisiana, some 200 miles away from New Orleans, and then on to Northeast Louisiana. Spent quite a bit of time with the New Orleans Saints yesterday, and several of the players upset by the list that was published earlier this week, which released player salaries and team-by-team payrolls. Pat Swilling has been a holdout the last couple of years, in particular upset. San Francisco, #1. You may have seen this during the course of the week, as the highest paid team. The Jets, 2nd, payroll of $22 million, while New Orleans 27th, next to last, and Pittsburgh 28th. Both clubs claim that they have many incentives tied in, though. In fact, they say that the contracts really did not show the true number because of incentives, but I don't know how much more they would gain.
About $11.28 more.
Pat Swilling was particularly charged up when we talked about the payrolls around the league. Merrill Hodge is stopped. Swilling listed at $700,000, made the All-Pro last season. He's in his 5th year, 1st-round draft pick. He says when you talk money with the Saints, it is not a negotiation. Saints, of course, have a different point of view, and Swilling was critical of the Saints losing players to the Plan B and the fact that they don't go after Plan B players.
He's also talking about Ricky Jackson, his other teammate, number 57, and he says, here's Ricky Jackson. He's been here 10 years. He's been in the Pro Bowl I don't know how many times, 4 times in the Pro Bowl. He says he's only making $700,000.
Of course, when you mention some of these salaries, people say, hey, 700, these guys should be satisfied, but it's all relative to what other guys, what the marketplace has to offer. Brister able to complete, and he has a 1st down. Sam Mills made the stop. Chris Callaway.
Ricky Jackson almost gets to Bubby Brister, and he stays in there. Brister is a tough competitor. Here comes Jackson. And that's Ilkin blocking on him. Jackson gets close, but not close enough. Brister gets the pass out. Chris Callaway catches the ball. It is 1st down. Nice play downfield. That's Sam Mills, number 51, who has also been an All-Pro linebacker, as you mentioned before. But, the one thing about when those salaries were put up there, and you're 27th and 28th, it's embarrassing. It really is. When you look at teams making so much more money than you are, and you're like next to last or last, like these two teams are, it is embarrassing to the players.
1st and 10, Brister, and it's dropped. Tim Worley took a hard hit and could not hold on. It is ruled incomplete. Sam Mills, who goes only 5'9", there he is, number 51. 5'9", 225 pounds, out of Montclair State in his 5th year in the NFL following his USFL career. With the hit, Brister also took a pretty good shot.
Ronaldo Turnbull, a man we talked to yesterday, I mean, when Brister got hit, the back of his head hit the ground, and he laid there for a moment or two.
2nd down and 10. 4.5 gone by, 2nd quarter, no score. On the draw, it's Hodge. An advance of 3 again, Mills on the stop.
All right, Marv, here's Seattle punting at Joe Robbie Stadium. Rick Donnelly will punt. Troy Stratford tries to field it for the Dolphins. He muffs it. Melvin Jenkins recovers at the 2, and on the very next play, Derek Fenner scores, and Seattle takes the lead over the Dolphins 10-3.
All right, Bob, 3rd down and 7. Brown urging the defensive unit on. Brister has Green. open was finally brought down by Benny Thompson. It's a pickup of 23.
I see now what Joe Walsh talked about as a wide receiver once Green gets his hands on the ball. Now, Green comes in motion, and nobody picks him up. Here he comes to the right of the screen. Nobody picked him up. The linebackers got caught inside, but watch him take off now. Look at this. He's got excellent speed. And the only way to really bring him down is to cut his legs out from underneath him, and I think that was Benny Thompson, number 37, that did it.
And for Eric Green, it's the longest reception of his career. Eric Green, a #1 draft pick, a holdout, did not sign until week number 4, and he has come on very fast. First down play, here's Hodge. Vaughn Johnson, the inside linebacker, making the stop.
That is a load. When he's coming down the field, I mean, I Benny Thompson, number 37, an awful lot of credit for knocking him off his pins, but he did attack him the way you're supposed to. Remember, not too long ago, that Gene Atkins tried to tackle Eric Green high, and that didn't work. So Benny Thompson figured, well, I'll just cut his legs out. That'll help me a little bit.
We asked some of the Steeler coaches who would they compare Eric Green to. Joe Walton said, well, it's a combination of John Mackey, Ron Kramer, Mike Ditka. Not a bad combination. Second down and 8. Brister with the time. And the catch by Merrill Hodge down at the 10. Stopped by Ricky Jackson.
We were talking about it last week. Eric Green came down and blocked not only the defensive man, but 2 of his offensive linemen, and almost wiped him out. And he did it in practice again this week. He almost wiped out a couple of his own people.
Look at the 10-minute ticker. Houston 7-0 over Kansas City. Seattle leading Miami 10-3 next week. Miami and Buffalo. Miami needing a victory to keep pace with Buffalo. And Dallas over Phoenix 13-3. Jets with the lead over Indianapolis. Third down, less than a yard. Worley. So he lost his balance. He saw 3 Saint defenders he wanted to cut, but could not. And again, the field goal unit will come on for the Steelers.
First of all, Hodge gets an excellent block, number 33. Right there, he gets his block on Atkins. Now, Worley's trying to cut back up inside and slips because he was covered on the outside. The first guy there, Vaughn Johnson, number 53.
Gary Anderson missed from 46 in the first quarter. Next, Brzezinski will hold. This a 29-yard attempt. And this one is good. 29-yard field goal by Anderson. That's the first score of the afternoon.
For naming the Mazda MPV best in class, we'd like to thank Car and Driver. For ranking it the most trouble-free minivan, J.D. Power and Associates. For naming it one of the top 10 import buys, Motor Trend. And for making the Mazda MPV the best-selling import minivan, we'd like to thank the Abbotts, the Ackermans, the Adisheks, the Ackermans.
Mazda, it just feels right.
The Altons, the Ammermans, the
Only one antiperspirant in the world helps keep you so dry with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. Only one deodorant in the world has so many odor-fighting ingredients with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. There's only one Old Spice.
Thank you very much.
Hickory Farms.
It's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. My delight is such.
I'm deeply touched.
I feel the joy of Christmas has begun for me.
Thanks, Mom.
At Hickory Farms, we have hundreds of delicious gifts for Christmas, all designed with one response in mind.
Thank you very
much.
Hickory Farms, the gift everyone loves to get.
Thank you.
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegance. Oh, his citizen, citizen. One citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, perfectly elegant citizen. We've got elegance.
NBC Sports kicks off a new year with a Hall of Fame Bowl as Clemson battles Illinois. Then Louisville takes on Alabama in the Fiesta Bowl. And it's a primetime showdown of the Orange Bowl as #1 Colorado battles Notre Dame to decide the national championship. New Year's Day, NBC is the place to be.
Pittsburgh drive 10 plays, 45 yards, consuming 6.5 minutes. The end result, 29-yard field goal by this man, Gary Anderson. So Anderson is now 18 for 21 for the season. A reminder, at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's and NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the game. Fennerty and Atkins are deep. Here's Fennerty. Out across the 20. And ankle tackle. Ball was jarred loose, but the indication that Fennerty was down. Terry O'Shea made the stop as Gil Fennerty, first-year player from Holy Cross, went 16 yards on the return.
All right, Fennerty's going to cut to his right and try to get through. O'Shea is there, gets a piece, and hangs on. Now, here's where they call him down. The ground cannot cause a fumble. The ball comes out, and the ball remains in the hands of the Saints.
Saints start out at their 22. Pittsburgh 3 and New Orleans nothing. Marv Albert, Paul Maguire from the Louisiana Superdome. Hayward goes into motion. Walsh looks the other way, has a man wide open, but he overthrew. Pass intended for Fennerty, and Steve Walsh hearing it from the crowd.
Fennerty is wide open. They did is they put Craig Hayward in motion to the right, and Fennerty comes back out. He's the other back, but take a look. They just do not cover him. That's Lloyd, number 95, as a linebacker, and I know he is not supposed to have him that deep. So the coverage was blown in the secondary probably by the safety. Well, these are the things that drive you crazy. I mean, you can look at he's 1 for 5, but you've got a guy that's wide open and probably would score. You can't get the ball to him.
Yes, Gil Fennerty was gone. Walsh now throws the middle. Perryman stopped by the left corner, David Johnson. 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Steelers 3, Saints nothing. And it is a first down for New Orleans.
Now, Perryman's coming across the middle, and that's David Johnson, number 44, on the coverage. They do get the first down. It looks like that the Saints can throw underneath as long as they bring the backs in motion or take him out of the backfield. Now there's only one back in the backfield.
And a first down at the 32. With play action. And it was almost picked off. It was deflected. David Little could not hold on. And again, the crowd reacting to that pass thrown by Steve Walsh, intended for the Saints' #1 receiver, Eric Martin.
Well, first of all, Hardy Nickerson, number 54, gets a piece of it. Lloyd almost gets it. And then David Little. Here comes the play. 54 in the middle of the screen right here. Hardy Nickerson, watch this. He gets a little piece. Lloyd almost gets a piece of it. And then right into the hands of Little. I said Lloyd, I should have said Hinkle, number 53. He almost got a piece of it.
Pittsburgh Steelers lead the AFC with 22 interceptions. And that one is nearly picked off. Rod Woodson leaping for it. Could not hang on.
Rod Woodson walks into the end zone if he catches this ball. It's thrown to Eric Martin, and the ball is thrown high. Martin's going to break to the outside. Watch Woodson. He's right there. Look at this. If he catches it, he just walks home because there's nobody on this field fast enough to catch him.
Steve Walsh is now 2 for 8.
He just banged himself in the head. He knew he had touchdown.
Walsh 2 for 8, 27 yards. Both completions to Perryman. It's a third down and 10. Walsh stepping up, going sideline, and he does complete. Again, Brett Perryman. Parnell Lake made the stop, but it is a first down for the Saints as Perryman went 21.
Parnell Lake tries to intercept this ball. Watch number 37. right here, he tries to intercept the ball, and the ball is thrown far enough to the outside that Perriman just catches the ball. It's a perfect pass by Walsh. Now here's Rod Woodson coming up. Perriman's going to get out of bounds. But now Walsh, when he steps up, he gets hit. I mean, it's not that much. Davidson is the man that gets in there, goes down. But what a great play by Perriman and a nice throw by Walsh.
First down for New Orleans at the Pittsburgh 48. Back to the ground. Hayward. Craig Ironhead Hayward, who's averaged just under 5 yards per carry. Last week, though, against the Rams, only 4 carries for 1 yard. But he's had some big games this season. 122 against Cincinnati. Picked up 155 yards against Tampa Bay. He's tapered off the last couple of games.
Well, here he comes, Hayward, now. But take a look. Once he gets square, he gets his shoulder square with the field, now he can move some people. But to run him off on an angle where you take away most of his power is not smart.
Second down and 2 at the 40. This is the first time that the Saints have made their way to Steeler territory. Good low tackle on Hayward, but he did pick up the first down. Gerald Williams got a piece of him, slowed him up. First down for New Orleans. We're talking about Craig Hayward right at the start of the game, and the fact that Jim Mora has been upset about the excess weight. He goes in about 260 plus, maybe 265 on a good day, Paul. What weight problems have you confronted in your football days, either yourself or perhaps a teammate?
Well, we had a guy, Dudley Meredith, who gained 12 pounds once overnight. Went up to about 297. They asked him how to gain 12 pounds overnight. He said, I ate 2 6-pound cookies.
Oh. It is a 1st and 10 from the 37. Walsh off the roll. Shot. Gerald Alfin could not hang on. Rod Woodson providing the coverage.
Well, Marv, that was a ball thrown to Hobie Brenner, and he throws the ball behind him. Hobie Brenner, take a look. He's going downfield, and he throws behind the receiver. It's a tough catch to make anyway, and then you're going to get nailed. So, you got to get the ball out in front. You're rolling that way. Lead the receiver.
Now Martin is to the right. Second down and 10 at the 37. Fennerty, good second effort. Gil Fennerty stopped by the left corner. David Johnson with help from inside linebacker David Little. Gil Fennerty, prior to last week, had not carried the ball for a couple of games. He had some fumble difficulties, but he broke out with 104 yards against the Rams. Gil Fennerty, a first-year player out of Holy Cross, originally a 7th-round draft pick of the Saints back in '86, played in Italy and then the Canadian Football League.
Well traveled.
Football in Italy.
Yeah. Ooh, tough hold on to the ball.
Would you explain that to me, Paul?
I have no idea. They just don't know of anybody that plays over there.
And Fennerty with the good second effort has the first down. Hardy Nickerson made the stop.
Fennerty, I saw him in the preseason. I did the Bills preseason game down here, and then Fennerty is just can hustle. He's got excellent hands. He blocks well, but look at the continuous motion of Fennerty. Legs never stop. He picks up the first down. That's just hard running.
2 minutes remaining in this first half. 3-0 Pittsburgh. We'll be right back.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
He stirs in the land of dawning. He stirs now in the age of wandering. Now on the trail of beauty, he stirs.
Introducing the new Navajo from Mazda. Motor Trend's 1991 Truck of the Year.
It just feels right.
Some people think it's a great idea for you to buy a second-rate antifreeze. Not all antifreeze is the same. Nothing beats Presto. And that's something you might appreciate down the road.
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegance. Oh, his citizen, citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, pretty elegant citizen. We've got elegance.
Well, for those of you who may have missed NFL Live prior to the start of the game, Jim Kelly told Bob Costas he expects to be available for the playoffs, but possibly not the wild card round if the Bills should be involved there. Will McDonough reported that Phil Simms' foot injury could be more serious than first reported, and Bill Walsh, who made a live cameo on the program, said the Raiders can win it all if they play consistently, eliminating foolish mistakes. Bob, Will, and O.J. coming up at halftime, and well, Bill Walsh hanging around. They cannot get rid of the guy. He's on the pregame, and he's going to take part in the halftime edition.
He likes New York.
It is a first down at the 27. Pittsburgh 3 and New Orleans nothing. 2 minutes to go in this first half. From the hole, and again a nice run by Fennerty. David Little, the inside linebacker, on the stop.
Ironhead Hayward said, "I got my block, and you can run." Fennerty is a tough runner. Number 34 is Hayward. And just see if he gets his block. Here he comes. He's coming to the right. Gets in Fennerty's way for a second. Now watch the block. Bam! On Hardy Nickerson, puts him on the ground. Hayward, again, I don't care how much he weighs, as long as he can run, catch, and block. What difference does it make?
So the first down at the 16 for New Orleans. They're trailing 3-0. It's back to Fennerty. Muscles his way inside the 15. Thomas Everett with the wraps around him finally got him down. And this is a similar pattern to last week. Reuben Mays started the game. Gil Fennerty came on and saw the bulk of the action.
I don't understand. All right, finally Walsh is going up and they call timeout. He walks up to the official. It's like, okay, we're down here. Let's settle for 3 and we'll tie the ball game.
Finally, the timeout is recognized. We'll take a break.
Oh, here we go! Oh!
You're dust, baby.
Zombie blitz! How you like me now, baby? Got the life insurance!
If you live near high-tension power lines and run household appliances, you stand a greater chance of getting cancer. Is electricity hazardous to your health? We'll find out on the next Today.
The New Orleans Saints off to a good start on the ground, and Gil Fennerty has been the hot runner here late in the second quarter.
He's been the hot runner, running well. Excellent blocks by Hayward, and Hayward's running the ball very well. You know, but you credit the offensive line. The guys up front, and when we were talking to Jim Moore yesterday, he said, hey, this offensive line is really playing well. You know, the one thing about Ironhead, we talked to him yesterday, and the poor guy, I asked him, I said, you know, over the 3 years, how much do you think you've been fined? And Ironhead said, you're going to have to check with my accountant on that deal. He said, I'm not sure. But he thinks it's up in excess of $30,000 in the last 3 years for weight.
But from the other point of view, that of Jim Moore, who wants discipline on the squad, and now you say, well, he's running well, he's blocking well, but a coach obviously can't let a player get away with that. Hayward may feel he can play at any weight, but I think Moore is also upset with the way that Hayward prepares himself for games, and that's all part of it when he has the excess weight. So how can you let a player just come in at 280 or 275 and accept it? And you know, what do you say to the other players?
Well, yeah, but you don't set his weight at 250 when you know that he can carry 265. So
that's your quality.
Yeah, okay. Bring it up a little bit.
280
or 90.
Second down and 7 from the 13. Fennerty breaking tackles. Beautiful powerful run by Gil Finnerty, finally forced out by Thomas Everett. He went for 9 and a first down.
I'm telling you, I saw him do this in a preseason game, and this is how he made this football team. But just take a look at Billo comes out and gets an excellent block. Martin gets a block downfield. He's holding Rod Woodson, but Finnerty just jumps to the outside, makes the play, and picks up 7 more yards. Don't take him out.
50 seconds remaining.
Ironhead all by himself in the backfield.
It's a 1st and goal at the 3. Penalty markers are thrown. And it was Hayward on the carry, stopped by Everett.
They got Pittsburgh offside. Half the distance.
Nose tackle, Gerald Williams.
Offsides on a nose guard defense. Penalize half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Gerald Williams had a terrific game last week against the Patriots. That man, Chuck Noll, was just delighted with Williams' play. 2 sacks, 7 tackles in all for Williams.
The red zone. They do well there.
It's a 1st and goal from the 1. Finnerty, fumble, and it's covered by the Steelers. David Johnson on the fumble recovery.
Boy, I mean, to tell you, I think it was Lorenzo Freeman, number 68, in there. I mean, he just absolutely drilled him. Johnson's in there. Keith Willis is in there. I saw Hayward go in the hole and Finnerty go in behind him. Here it comes. There goes Hayward, 34. Here comes Finnerty. But watch this. That ball is hit David Little's helmet. And remember Moore's talking about the balls hitting helmets. Joe Walton talked about balls hitting helmets. And when that happens, there's nothing these guys can do about it. Here comes the ball. I mean, that thing comes flying out of there. Pittsburgh Steelers get the ball back. Johnson gets it. Unbelievable. What did Moore say? Excuse me, Marvin. What did Moore say to us? We beat ourselves. We beat ourselves.
As I recall, he said, get out of my office. 41 seconds remaining in this first half. The fumble at 1st and goal at the 1, and Johnson on the recovery. Tim Worley for a short pickup. Time is running down, only a half minute left of the half. Sam Mills made the stop. So a critical turnover by the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints on 5 previous occasions this year has had a chance to pull up to 500 each time they were beaten. Today, yet another opportunity, but they're trailing here 3-0 as we approach the end of the first half.
Marv, Warren Williams goes in the game. They're not even going to run a play. Worley got hurt. He hurt his shoulder on that last running play and went off the field.
That's the end of the first half. Steelers 3 and the Saints nothing. Let's go to Bob Costas and NFL Live in New York.
Okay, Bob Costas back with Will and OJ. You heard Paul Maguire during the first half. He doesn't believe that Ironhead Hayward is too heavy. Of course, perhaps Paul is just protecting his own position since he hasn't made a weigh-in himself in about 15, 20 years.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I agree with Paul in this case. I'm watching Ironhead run the ball today. He's running the ball well. And like Bubba Paris out in San Francisco, they've been on his case for a number of years about his weight. To me, the only thing that counts is results. And if he's getting the job done, it's okay. I don't care what you weigh. Generally, if a team is not going well, though, they're going to look for excuses. And that may just be an excuse.
Bob, I talked to Jim Finks, the general manager in New Orleans this morning. He said the real problem down there is Ironhead's contract. He said they were leaving the game in L.A. a couple of weeks ago, and Ironhead tapped him on the way to the plane and said, hey, Mr. Finks, I'd like to talk about my contract. So that's become a big thing. He's had this on his mind, and now he's pulled the weight factor into the whole equation.
How easygoing a guy is Jim Mora? Is he likely to react negatively to Ironhead's comment? Like, Ironhead says, hey, who's Jim Mora to tell me how much to weigh? He's only the coach.
As a result of all this talk, Jim Finks told me that Jim Mora and Ironhead had a meeting yesterday in New Orleans and got together, and they talked it all out, and supposedly now they're back on friendly terms again.
Okay, let's get quickly to the scoreboard. Check the rest of the results. Houston has the lead at Kansas City. They're not yet to halftime. Late in the second quarter, the score is 10-0. Christian Okoye doesn't suit up for this one. Dislocated right shoulder. Here's Warren Moon's league-leading 30th touchdown pass. Tony Jones is on the receiving end of this one from 24 yards. Houston took a 7-0 lead. Teddy Garcia then hit a 32-yard field goal, make it 10-0. Pittsburgh in the game you're watching with the halftime lead at 3-0 at the Superdome in New Orleans. Seattle is playing at Miami. A look at some of the highlights from Joe Robbie Stadium. The Christmas spirit arrives there early. Witness the sideline crew. And both teams apparently were in a giving mood with the score tied at 3. Rick Donnelly punts for Seattle. Troy Stratford will muff it. And Melvin Jenkins recovers for Seattle at the 2-yard line. Then on the next play, Derek Fenner will take it in from 2 yards out. His team leading 11th touchdown. After the point after, it's 10-3 Seattle. But then later in the same quarter, Chris Warren fumbles this punt, and Stevan Moore recovers it on the Seattle 9. So turnabout is fair play. And Miami immediately capitalizes on this opportunity with Dan Marino scrambling and then hitting James Pruitt from 4 yards out for the tying touchdown. It evened it at 10. And then later in the second quarter, it's Troy Stratford atoning for his earlier mistake when he muffed the punt near the goal line. He powers in from 6 yards out. Miami trying to take their record to 11-3, trying to keep pace with Buffalo, trying to stay just a game behind them, actually, in the AFC East and put themselves in position to, in effect, claim the lead with a victory next week in Buffalo, because if they do that, they would have 2 head-to-head victories over Buffalo under their belts. So Miami desperately in need of a victory here and leading 17-10 at home over Seattle. And the Seahawks, of course, still have wild-card possibilities. Tampa Bay is playing their first game under new head coach Richard Williamson. They were off last week following the firing of Ray Perkins, and look at the way they've responded. Vinny Testaverde had a 49-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Steve Christie has kicked 3 second-quarter field goals, all of them better than 40 yards, and they lead by a score of 16-0. Phoenix is playing at Dallas. The Cowboys trying to get to 500 at 7-7. They're alive for a wild card, and they've got the lead 20-3. Their latest score, an 8-yard touchdown pass from Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin. Indianapolis and the Jets at the Meadowlands, and the Jets have the lead in this one. Ken O'Brien, a 6-yard touchdown pass to Rob Moore. Brad Baxter, a 1-yard run. Moments ago, Jeff George got the Colts a little bit closer, throwing a 23-yard TD strike to Clarence Verdun. The score here, Jets 14 and Indianapolis 10. And Atlanta, which has lost 6 in a row and has an overall record of 3-10, is playing at Cleveland. The Browns have lost 8 straight. Their record 2-11. Jim Schaffner 0-4 since taking over as head coach from Bud Carson. It's Cleveland with the lead in this one by a score of 7-3 on Kevin Mack's 5-yard touchdown run. Later today in the second half of our NBC doubleheader, most of you will see the Bengals taking on the Raiders. Is Boomer Esiason available? We talk to Sam Weish about it next.
5:45, let's go! Rise and shine! Let's go!
It's not the Army, but if they can make it through this basic training, physically and scholastically, they'll be ready to become the best that their minds and hearts can make them. This is the YMCA's Youth Service Corps, dedicated to developing strong work habits while at the same time serving the needs of the community. I'm Bubby Brister, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've been involved as a United Way volunteer since this program began. Most are disadvantaged youth, many from the inner city. They earn minimum wage while they work and train. I believe in this program because I overcame many of the same difficulties they are experiencing when I was growing up. Youth Service Corps works because it brings out the best in these great young people. And you make it work when you support the United Way. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us. Right, guys? Right!
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Go back to where it all started. Back for the excitement. What are you looking at, butthead? Back for the adventure.
You're my blood.
Back for the romance.
You can sleep in my room.
I gotta go. Back just for the fun of it. Back to the future.
This is nuts.
Back to the future tonight at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
High is 37 degrees with a light drizzle, clearing tonight, the low around 30.
It's Chevy's Fall Festival of 4x4s. Get ready for whatever the road throws at you this winter with a 4x4 from your Super Chevy Geo dealer. Get up to $1,000 cash back on an S10 Tahoe with standard V6. Get up to $1,000 cash back on four-wheel drive, four-door Chevy Blazers. Get up to $500 cash back on Chevy's full-size 4x4 pickup equipped with automatic transmission. If you want four-wheel drive to make the difference this winter, then make tracks to your Super Chevy Geo dealer's Fall Festival of 4x4s today.
The unintelligent way.
Bruce, I need this claim done now.
Well, here's the policy data. The photos are in here, and the rest comes from the local office.
Thanks a lot.
The intelligent way.
Bruce, I need this claim done now.
Well, here's the policy data. Photos are in here, and the rest comes from the local office.
Thanks a lot.
For image processing and systems and network integration, call Bell Atlantic.
Okay, welcome back to NFL Live at halftime. The Bengals are in Los Angeles to face the Raiders in the second half of our NBC doubleheader today, and they may be without Boomer Esiason. We go live now to the Coliseum and join Bengal coach Sam Walsh. Sam, what's Boomer's status?
Well, as we're talking right now, I really can't tell you whether he's going to be able to start or play during the course of the game. He's going to work out in the pregame warm-up. We'll see how he feels after he goes back inside. We'll actually watch him throw the ball during the early part of the re-entry on the field during the national anthem part of the game. But it's a touch-and-go deal. He has not practiced all week. Eric Wilhelm and Todd Philcox split time 50-50 during the course of the practice week. Boomer was out here but did not move very well or very much yesterday on the day before the game practice. We're just going to have to wait and see. Our evaluation of it and our decision will come as to whether we can win with Boomer playing under these circumstances, and will he walk away from this one being able to play next week and the following week against Cleveland.
So, Sam, when you say that Wilhelm and Philcox split the practice time, does that mean that if Esiason doesn't start and Wilhelm does, we still might see Philcox during the course of the game?
Oh, absolutely. Both of these guys, we demanded of all of our quarterbacks, they have to be ready to play every snap all season long. So they've been getting ready all year long. They just haven't had the experience of game, snaps. But they have prepared themselves mentally. They're ready to play. In fact, they're both anxious to play. And we think we can win the ball game with those guys at quarterback if we have to.
Sam, your players know that the last two are probably more important than this one. How do you keep them thinking about today's game?
Well, I really don't think competitive guys, competitive professional athletes ever walk into a game saying it's not an important game or winning is not the objective of the game. So that part of it really hadn't entered into us. We've heard the commentary and the talk shows and things that have pointed out the fact that we have to win next week regardless of what happens this week. That's true. But this week's important to us because it's a game that we prepared for and we want to win it.
Sam, OJ here. In preparing to defense the Raiders, how differently do you approach them if Marcus Allen's in the game or if Bo Jackson's in the game?
Well, you really can't approach them any differently. The one thing I think you have to do is you have to approach the running game in layers. You can't go in one flank because if they break through that flank, nobody's going to catch them from behind. Last year, it was Bo Jackson that broke the game open, and we lost the ball game by 20 points, and it was Bo's long runs. We can't let that happen, but as soon as you neglect Marcus Allen, he's going to beat you. So we got our hands full.
Sam, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck today against the Raiders.
Thank you.
Okay, and of course, the game that Sam was referring to next week is a home game for the Bengals against Houston in their division. The Bengals and Raiders are coming up later as the NFL on NBC continues.
A little girl's Christmas wish brings a mannequin to life.
Hi.
It makes Dad's dream come true. Oh, yes. But when the spell is over,
Midnight.
can one family's love keep the magic alive?
Till Christmas, we'll never forget.
In her first television movie, Olivia Newton-John is a mom for Christmas on NBC Monday.
We've shared the courage. We've shared the long hours. We've shared the commitment it takes to reinvent yourself in a place that's being reinvented. That's why one bank has been providing the financial support our town needs to renew itself and reshape its future. That bank is Pittsburgh National, a PNC bank.
Bizarre discrimination, tomorrow at 9 on Geraldo.
Pittsburgh Steelers lead the New Orleans Saints 3-0 at the half as we take a look at the halftime statistics. Saints doing it on the ground, but Steve Walsh has had his problems. 3 for 10 for 47 yards. Brister 7 for 11 for 78 yards.
Keep the ball on the ground, even though the one turnover. Finnerty fumbles the ball into the end zone. On that drive, they move the ball by running the football between Hayward and Finnerty. They can run this like 6-7 yards at a crack. Do that. Don't put any more pressure on Walsh than you have to.
Well, that's the key play in the first half. New Orleans driving for the goal line. They had a 1st and goal from the 1. And here it is.
Well, again, he gets the ball hit with a helmet, and this causes fumbles more than arms ripping the ball out. You'll see right here the ball, Little's helmet hits the ball pops out, causes them the touchdown, but they know that they can drive the football by running it. And if you're going to do anything at all with Walsh, make sure that the passes are short passes and not try to go for the deep stuff.
His only 3 completions to wide receiver Brett Perryman. That's been it.
Yeah, but they're all short passes coming across the middle. Go ahead. If they're going to give you that, go ahead and take it. I think that's the same thing that Pittsburgh's going to try and do, is take the short stuff and not try to go deep, because when you got Swilling coming and Jackson coming, the linebackers are flying at you. You don't have that much time. But both offensive lines, I think, are blocking extremely well. It is a defensive football game. The defense, I mean, 3-0 score, obviously. But the offensive lines are doing it, but not consistently doing it.
And Pittsburgh comes in as the top-rated defensive unit in the AFC, so this has not hurt their cause at all. In fact, the Steelers in the second half have shut out opponents in 7 out of the last 9 games. Pittsburgh comes in at 7-6. They have been a difficult team to figure once again this year. Got off to the poor start, did not score an offensive touchdown until the 5th week of the season. And they won 4 out of 5, winning by big scores. Their most recent stretch, they have won 2 out of the last 3. Morton Anderson getting set to kick it to Rod Woodson. Morton Anderson, one of the elite kickers in the NFL in his 9th season out of Michigan State. And he has bounced back from an off season. But he's had a glorious 9-year NFL career.
And not one attempt today. He's not had a chance. They were on, as we showed before on the highlight, we're on a drive to score a touchdown. They really haven't had an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Rod Woodson lets it fly by. That is usually the idea, either kick it into the end zone, out of the end zone, or on the ground when you're dealing with Rod Woodson, who went to the Pro Bowl as a kickoff return man last season.
You don't want it in his hands.
And here comes Bubby Brister along with the offensive unit. John Jackson and Tunch Ilkin at the tackles, Brian Blankenship and Terry Long at the guards. Dermonte Dawson is the center. The only score, the field goal by Gary Anderson from 29 yards away. He also missed from 46. The Steelers start out from their 20. That's Green in motion. And Tim Worley stopped by Ricky Jackson. Ricky Jackson last week came up with another fumble recovery, his 6th of the season. That's a Saints club record. Also a big play pressuring Jim Everett in the final play of the game. Punishing hitter. And like his linebacking teammates, he also a Pro Bowl player.
Well, you're right about this defense. The linebackers on this football team probably as good as there are in the game of football today. It's 4 linebackers together I'm talking about.
Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Swilling. Brister on the short set as Stone short of the first down. Vince Buck from the left quarterback position making the stop. It went for 8.
I see Bubby's clapping out there telling Dwight Stone, nice catch. And Dwight said, would you kindly get that thing a little bit faster over here? Because I know I'm going to get drilled.
It'll be a 3rd down and 2. Dwight Stone, a running back, moved to wide receiver, a starter the first 8 games last year. Now they change it to a 3rd down and 1 as Warren Williams has come into the backfield. Incomplete. Robert Massey with the hit on Chris Callaway.
Robert Massey is all over Callaway. Number 40 is Massey. 88 is Callaway. Now he comes into the inside. And here's the ball. This ball is thrown to the outside where it's supposed to be. But Massey gets his arm in and pulls Callaway's arm away. It's tough to make that catch. Good defense.
Dan Straczynski will punt from his 13-yard line. Vince Buck, a rookie from Central State, is back. Block, and a penalty marker is thrown. Fair catch handled by Buck.
If it's running into the kicker, it's 5 yards, and they will get a first down because it was 4th and about 2 or 3. So, I mean, the mistakes, we're talking about dumb mistakes. Unless you can get that ball, you don't go that close to the defensive back, and that's Benny Thompson, number 37. You just don't go that close. There is a spot in front of that kicker, which is about 3.5 to 4 yards in front. That's where you aim.
Well, Benny Thompson, an excellent special teams player.
On the defense, automatic first down.
Benny Thompson known for his reckless play, and that certainly was. It cost New Orleans. Pittsburgh maintains possession. First down at the 33.
Those are just mental errors when people do things like that. You know, the coaches go over it in the film and over and over and over again, but those are mental breakdowns.
Brister able to get it away. Intended for Stone. It is picked off. Gene Atkins on the interception. His 2nd of the season.
I think Maxey was in there blitzing on Brister. They had a safety blitz, number 39. Here he comes, and Brister just unloads the ball. Should have taken the hit. You're going to get hit anyway, and not dump this ball away. He throws the ball downfield, and when you do that, Atkins is there to make the catch. Massey was also there, number 40, but there's just no chance for Stone to catch the ball.
Gene Atkins picked one off last week against the Los Angeles Rams. He went 15 yards on the return. First down at the 40. 66. It is Reuben Mays. Stopped by Brian Hinkle. So 2nd down play coming up. 2nd half of our doubleheader here on NBC. Cincinnati Bengals at 7-6, and the Los Angeles Raiders coming into today's play in a tie in the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Bengals involved in that 3-way scrap. Cincinnati, Houston, Pittsburgh all at 7-6, vying for the lead in the AFC Central. Walsh going incomplete. Eric Martin was ripped as he came over the hash mark at the 50. Thomas Everett, noted for his hard hitting, making contact.
Marv, let me tell you something. Thomas Everett did not even look at the ball. He was looking at Eric Martin the whole way and just drills him. This was a situation where, hey, I don't care about the interception. This guy's going down.
Three Central. Walsh going incomplete. And Eric Martin shaken up in his 6th year out of LSU, the Saints' leading receiver for the 4th straight year. Last week, 4 catches, 49 yards, including the winning touchdown with 8 minutes remaining against the LA Rams.
Here it comes again. When you take a look at Everett, now look at Everett. There comes the ball. See the ball? He's not even there. He just goes right at Martin and hits him right in the head with a forearm. Martin's walking off. That's good news. But they asked him, how many fingers, and he said it's Thursday.
Yeah.
So they won't be in there for a while.
Eric Martin skipped a meeting earlier in the week because he was complaining about his diminished role in the offense. Also unhappy about his contract, although told that he negotiated for himself. Here's Walsh, able to complete for the first down and some more.
He got Finnerty out there, and he got the coverage he wanted. He had one-on-one coverage with Brian Hinkle, number 53, the linebacker. And when that happened, Walsh went right to him. Top of the screen. You see 53, Hinkle, just no contest at that point. Finnerty gets the first down, and they're on a move. They're inside Pittsburgh's territory.
It is a first down at the 46. Steelers 3, and the Saints nothing. On a 29-yard field goal by Gary Anderson. That has been it. 3 minutes gone by in the third. Mays tripped up at the line. Stopped by Everett.
I was looking in the middle of the field. Gerald Williams, number 98, lined up on the center on Hilgenberg. And so Hilgenberg just watch right in the middle of the screen. Watch what Hilgenberg does. He just steps aside, and Gerald Williams goes down on the ground, and he stands over him. It's okay. That's the move you want to make. I'll let you make it. I guess he was waiting on Joe Green's talking to him, saying, look, you got to get your hands on him, man. You can't fall down. That's so funny.
And it is a 2nd and 10 at the 45. And Walsh with the completion over the middle to Perryman. Stopped by Woodson and Little. So Brett Perryman has been the favorite receiver of Steve Walsh. That went for 7.
All right, there's Perryman, number 80, coming in, just a short one. But on the bottom of the screen, we just saw his head, was Floyd Turner, number 88, who had split the zone, was running downfield, and man, he was open.
All right, a check of the Hertz 10-minute ticker. A win by Kansas City would clinch a playoff spot. Miami has pulled in front of Seattle. Dallas leads Phoenix. Jets clinging to the lead. Cleveland with a 10-3 lead at halftime. Atlanta has lost 6 in a row. Cleveland has dropped 8 in a row. 3rd down and 4. Finnerty close to the marker. Pulled down by Hardy Nickerson.
He's got it. He's got the mark. They're going to mark it, but he's going to make it by half the ball. Eyes don't fail me now.
Last week, Chuck Noll picking up the 200th win of his illustrious NFL career in his 22nd year as head coach.
Half the ball.
Yes, very good eyes, Paul. Very nice.
So much. I think they would have gone for it on 4th down anyway. I mean, New Orleans, they've got to win this football game to have any chance as far as a wild card team is concerned. So and their defense is playing extremely well against Pittsburgh. So in this kind of territory, this could be 4th down, 4 downs on every 4-down situation.
And it's a first down at the 35. Yes, New Orleans in the hunt along with Green Bay and Minnesota, Dallas and Philadelphia. It is a long shot, though, for the Saints to make the wild card. Craig Hayward stopped by Rod Woodson.
I'm seeing some funny things happen when the big guys are banging into each other. Look at Craig Hayward's laughing. Rod Woodson came up to hit him and bounced right off him. He just bounced Hayward into this defensive guys. Watch to the right of your screen. 26 is going to come into your picture right about now, and watch what happens. Here comes Woodson. Bing! There goes Woodson. There goes Hayward.
Craig liked it also.
Oh, yeah, he laughed. He said, that felt good. I like that.
2nd down and 9 at the 34. Finnerty, the lone deep back. Finnerty. And the Steelers handle that extremely well. Greg Lloyd getting to Gil Finnerty. And looks like Lloyd is hurt. Greg Lloyd in his third year out of Fort Valley State. He has been a big play man and a guy who's come back strong from severe knee injuries. 6th round draft pick 3 years ago. Timeout is taken. 3-0 Steelers. 8.5 left, third quarter.
Seems to me a new car warranty should cover the entire car for many miles. Now take Ford Taurus. Its basic warranty ends at just 12,000 miles. But the basic warranty on the new Cutlass Supreme goes a bit farther. Like from New York to L.A., back to New York to L.A., 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 to New York, plus a trip to Anchorage, Alaska. Cutlass Supreme with its bumper-to-bumper plus warranty. Here's one car that does it all and does it right. Hey, Dad.
This is the new generation of old.
Over a lifetime, the average American will be involved in 5 automobile accidents. But accidents don't necessarily mean injuries. A TRW airbag can help protect you in a head-on collision. Used with a seatbelt, an airbag gives you a better chance of walking away. TRW.
Reggie, Lewis, roller coaster jam. Lewis, around the world jam. Reggie, reverse jam.
That's reverse jam.
That's Reggie, Lewis.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Oldsmobile. Stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. By Canon, photographic consultant to the National Football League. By TWA, the only airline that lets you fly business class for the price of coach. And by Reebok, it's time to play.
You know, we're looking at Lloyd there, and it just looked like he hit his head. He hit Finnerty in the head. To the right of the screen, watch his helmet, Infinity's helmet, and you're talking about his knees, but there it is. There's the bang. He's walking very, very well on the sideline, so I don't think it's his knee. I think he got wrapped in the head.
It is a 3rd down and 8 from the Pittsburgh 33. Walsh with the time. Almost picked off. And Brett Perriman almost had the reception.
Well, Larry Griffin wiped out Alford coming across the middle. I mean, there's bodies flying all over the place. This is a great defensive game. Watch in the middle of your screen. See 22 stand there? What's this? You think this is cute? Bink. He goes down. The ball's in the air. Then Perriman just drops the ball. Now we're going to have a 50-yard field goal. I love this.
Yes, Martin Anderson, who is 2 for 2 from 50 or more. Barnhart will hold. It is good. Martin Anderson, 16 for 20 this season, and connects from 50. So the Steelers and the Saints are tied at 3.
Dean Witter believed in priorities.
Know why your clients are saving. Know why they're investing.
Okay, come on, folks.
At some point, it's college. Later on, retirement. But Dean Witter knows that often the highest priorities are all the things that happen in between.
Is there anything else you want?
Just the first dance.
There are many ways to measure success.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Whether I'm racing 200 miles an hour or driving 55, I don't accept compromises. You shouldn't either. Cars should be responsive yet fuel efficient. Roomy yet sleek. Not to mention affordable.
Well, surprisingly, one car does all that and more. The new Cutlass Supreme.
So take a look at any new Cutlass Supreme and see for yourself.
Here's one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of old.
Gas, the premium choice.
Here's a question. How can you save 12% of your gasoline bill every year? Have a regular tune-up. Let's put our energy into saving it.
Morton Anderson, who a moment ago tied the game with a 50-yard field goal, getting set to kick it off. Ron Woodson, the deep man, 10 plays, 27 yards in 4 minutes, 58 seconds, and it concluded with the field goal. Short kick. Woodson able to accelerate across the 15. Again, the good coverage. A 17-yard return. Robert Massey made the stop. Check of the Hertz ticker. Houston 10-7 over Kansas City. Score of prime interest to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Miami with the lead on Seattle. Tampa Bay over Minnesota. The Vikings had been on a roll. They were stopped by the Giants last week. Still looking for a playoff position. Dallas leading Phoenix. Indianapolis has moved in front of the Jets. Those clubs playing for Zippo, although Indianapolis is still technically alive for a playoff berth. First down at the 17. Harold Hodge, and a penalty marker is thrown.
And that's usually holding. Yep.
Holding, number 60 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's the left guard, Brian Blankenship, in his 4th year out of Nebraska, called for the hold.
Right to the left of the quarterback, long pulls, and here comes Blankenship, and this is a perfect takedown at left arm, and using the right beautifully. That's a nice call. He's an off-season wrestler. That thing would have worked beautiful for him.
First down at 18, back at the 9. The Pittsburgh running game has not done it to this point. Only 41 yards on the ground. And Brister throws and has Green, and he is gang tackled as he crossed the 20-yard line.
Now, I'll tell you, on these short 10 to 12-yard patterns, Bubby Brister is just zipping the ball in. Number 86 is Eric Green. Brister looks left, and then he'll come back to his big tight end. Watch this ball get there in a hurry. No chance for the defense to knock it down. That's Atkins, number 28, trying to make the play, and then Green picks up another 2 yards on the play. He's something. He is scary.
6'5", 274 pounds. A rookie out of Liberty, where he was coached by Sam Rutigliano. Second down and 5. Green in motion. Here's Hodge. Gets across the 25-yard line. So the Steelers still not able to get the running game going. Last week against New England, they finished very strong after a so-so first half, and they ran for a season-high 251 yards. Throwing only 20 passes, they controlled the ball.
Merle Hodges' jersey. First the 3's coming off, but look at the back. This thing has been ripped. They've been pulling this guy apart. Get him a new jersey. Maybe he doesn't want one. Superstitious.
Third down and 1. Stone in motion. Off the pitch. Hodge could not turn it.
You know why he can't turn this play? Because Pat Swilling really does a tremendous job. He knocks off Blankenship, who's trying to pull out number 60 to guard, but doesn't make the play, but nobody can get out in front to block. Watch this. Stone comes down. 56 is there. Look what he does. He takes 3 people out of the play. He takes Jackson, Blankenship, and Stone out of the play. That is a great defensive play by that man who is an all-pro.
Pat Swilling in his 5th year out of Georgia Tech. Here's Krasinski back at his 8th. Deep man pitch punt. Buck with the the return. And Straczynski submarine to help bring him down. David Johnson and the punter, Dan Straczynski, making the stop, but a penalty marker is down.
And it's against New Orleans, and they're going to bring it back, and it's about the 49-yard line. I mean, that was just an excellent run. Look at Jim Morris.
Illegal block.
Yeah.
Number 23 on the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Buford Jordan. You know, and you can understand why he's getting grayer and grayer. I mean, every time they have something good going for him, they make a mistake.
So the 30-yard run is eradicated. It was a 35-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment.
Seems to me a new car warranty should cover the entire car for many miles. Now take Ford Taurus. Its basic warranty ends at just 12,000 miles. But the basic warranty on the new Cutlass Supreme goes a bit farther.
Like from New York to L.A., back to New York to L.A., 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 to New York. Plus a trip to Anchorage, Alaska.
Cutlass Supreme with its bumper-to-bumper plus warranty. Here's one car that does it all and does it right. Hey, Dad.
This is the new generation of old.
Some men would rather live their lives sheltered in the harbor, and some would rather sail into life with the unmistakable scent of Old Spice. Clean, true, and classic. Old Spice, one of the legends of the sea.
These NFL coaches lost 249 pounds.
I lost 35 pounds in 5 months with Ultra Slim Fast.
I lost 33 pounds and never felt better.
I can't believe I did it.
The Ultra Slim Fast plan is easy. A shake for breakfast, another for lunch, and then a sensible dinner.
I'm down 38 pounds. I lost the most, and I feel great.
We're big guys with big appetites.
We lost weight.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Isaiah Thomas. Michael Jordan. The world champion Detroit Pistons take on the Chicago Bulls. It's a special Christmas Day presentation of the NBA on NBC.
Stuff Daddy needs Stockton.
Yes, it has been a defensive battle. As you see, Pittsburgh has not done it on the ground. A confrontation that one of the New Orleans players designated as the Poverty Bowl, pitting the NFL's 27th lowest salary team against number 28. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third. The game is tied at 3 as Walsh fires deep. David Johnson nearly picked it off. The pass intended for Floyd Turner.
David Johnson has had a great game, a super first half. Here he comes back in the second half. This is for Floyd Turner, number 88, but I don't understand the call, and I'll tell you why. Because the New Orleans Saints, they've been running the football, averaging close to 6 yards a rush, and especially in first down situations, which gives you a chance to throw this pass play on second and short or third and short, but not on first down.
There's David Johnson in his second season out of Kentucky. Gunning for his third interception of the year. Nice fake. And Fennerty stopped by Gerald Williams. Jim Mora has done exceptionally well against AFC teams, winning 15 out of 19, including 14 of the last 15. I don't know if there's a pattern there. It's one of those stats that perhaps looks good, but that's an exceptional winning record.
And he just, talking to us yesterday, said he's got an awful lot of young people on this football team. And of course, they've lost a lot of people to Plan B, and they don't pick up anybody from Plan B.
Third down and 10 from the 39. Walsh in trouble, able to get it away. That was a dangerous pass. Turner was in the area, along with a couple of Steeler defenders.
I'll tell you, they got really hustling. Donald Evans, number 66, was hustling all over the place. Left of your screen, 66. Watch Evans. Here he comes out. He sees Walsh. He gets away from his man. He goes back. He chases him. He doesn't get there. That ball's overthrown. You got to be able to settle down and throw that pass. And Walsh, of course, didn't have that much time to do that.
And Walsh is now 5 for 16, 65 yards. It has been a struggle. Barnhart will punt to Woodson. And it's a good one. Woodson has to backpedal. Again, excellent coverage by the Saints. They've done it all season. Ernest Spears leading the assault on Ron Woodson. Timeout call. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm a businessman. I want to fly in business class. Who wouldn't want to fly in business class? So why does it seem like there's never a business class flight when I want one? Answer that one, will you?
TWA has nearly 3 times as many domestic flights with business class as all other airlines combined.
Amazing. It's like they read my mind.
TWA's business class. We did it first. We do it better.
My dad knows all about space vehicles. He directed me to the new Oldsmobile Silhouette. Its looks are stellar. And the interior is perfect for the enterprising family. The modular seats pull out easily. There's a place for everything. Compared to other forms of space travel, Silhouette is the logical choice. Right, Dad?
Eminently logical.
This is the new
Silhouette. Travel in space and style.
generation of Olds.
What do I know about the holidays?
Lights.
Lights.
Camera.
Camera. Action.
Ever-ready Energizer batteries are only 99 cents after rebate, and the Sharp full-function solar calculator is only $5.88.
Ace is a holiday place for me.
Let me tell you.
Only one antiperspirant in the world helps keep you so dry with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. Only one deodorant in the world has so many odor-fighting ingredients with the cool, clean scent of Old Spice. There's only one Old Spice.
Go back to where it all started. Back just for the fun of it.
Back to the future.
This is nuts. Back to the Future tonight at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
Big one coming up following the Steelers and the Saints. Cincinnati Bengals 7-6, battling for a playoff spot with Pittsburgh and Houston. Raiders coming into today 9-4, tied with Kansas City. Check of the 10-minute ticker. Look at Tampa Bay over Minnesota. That's the first game for new head coach Richard Williamson, taking over for the fired Ray Perkins. First down from the 10. Worley hit back behind the line. What an effort by Robert Massey.
See, what's happening on this play is they're running a draw play, all right, with Worley. And what happens is that Pat Swilling comes up the field. Now, when the 86 green comes down, can we freeze this right here? See where Swilling goes? If he just lets him go, he's not going to make the play. Now, turn back upfield here and have somebody block Massey. The play works, but you have no one blocking the safety. Good play by the safety.
And the last 2 times that Worley has carried, he's lost a yard on each attempt. Second down, 11. Brister goes sideline, has Green, but again a very short pickup. Toy Cook, the right corner, at the reps on the big guy, Eric Green.
Well, what Toy's got to learn how to do is, look at him, is you got to fall on the big guy. You don't let the big guy fall on you. Here's what happens. With good coverage, he grabs him here, spins him around, but watch where Green ends up. Get out from underneath there, young man. Oh, that'll hurt you.
Let's see, Toy goes 5'11", 180.
You got it. That's 100 pounds more than you've got.
It is a third down and 7. Game tied at 3. Brister had it deflected. Incomplete. Another excellent defensive series by the Saints.
I don't know if that was Ricky Jackson or not, number 57, that got his hands on the ball, but that ball looked like it could have been a jump ball, and somebody should have been able to get to it. 57 is Ricky Jackson. Now, I don't know, does he get his hand up here or not? He's right in front. Yeah, it is him. There it is. Actually, the ball hit him in the helmet. And look where this ball drops. There's a whole gang of Saints. few Pittsburgh Steelers guys that no one can get to it.
Straczynski back in his end zone. Punting to Vince Buck, who had a terrific return just moments ago. This time he had a hold on off the twisting punt that went for 33 yards. New Orleans Saints take over at their 44-yard line. Capacity crowd here at the Superdome, 69,000 plus. And they would love to see the Saints go 7-7 to improve their wild card playoff possibilities. A host of clubs at 6-7: New Orleans, Green Bay, Minnesota, Dallas, Philadelphia within that group at 7-6. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Here's Fennerty, picked his way to get to the 41-yard line. A 29-yard field goal by Gary Anderson in the second quarter, and then Morton Anderson connected from 50 yards away in the third, and that has been it. The Saints had a terrific opportunity, first and goal from the 1 in the second quarter, but Fennerty coughed it up. He fumbled. The New Orleans Saints are tied for the worst record in the Department of Giveaway takeaway ratio, so that will add to the statistic. Second down and 7. Fennerty. And now the Pittsburgh defense coming up strong.
David Little, just an excellent play by the defense. Fennerty's not going any place to the outside or inside now. They've adjusted. Take a look. Takeaways, giveaways. Minus 16. That won't get the job done. And this is one of the biggest stats that coaches talk about, is the giveaway, takeaway. They may be in field goal range.
With Morton Anderson.
Yeah, right now it would be about a 57-yarder.
Third down and 6. And Walsh able to complete for the first down. Rod Woodson made the stop. Floyd Turner on the reception. I think you're in field goal range with Morton Anderson from the press room on.
Yeah. Anytime they cross that 50-yard line, Morton's ready to go. Just a heads-up play that time by Steve Walsh. I mean, he might have been able to run for the first down, but he did see Floyd Turner, number 88, coming across the middle. That should be the last play of the third quarter.
Yes, that'll do it. Game tied at 3. We'll be back after this from your local station.
Tuesday, an anchorman covers his own death.
I know it's only a matter of time.
From AIDS, the controversial, critically acclaimed episode. Life Stories on NBC, Tuesday.
Hi, it's 37 degrees. Occasional drizzle tonight, low around 30.
Absolute minimum prices have been playing with you. As soon as they go down, they go up again. But guess what? We just broke their toy. Just look for the guaranteed unbeatable signs at Foodland.
Foodland presents Cottonelle bathroom tissue, 99 cents. Frost and Check cereal, 50 cents off regular price. USDA Grade A self-basting turkeys, 49 cents a pound. And Kodak print film, specially priced. And double coupons. All this week at Foodland.
To us, the theory of relativity means always being relatively close to a party. In these parts, our wildest creatures come out only at night.
Preserve the wildlife. This season, break from the pace. Take 5 from the race. You know the one, McDonald's.
It's Holiday Shopper Survival Days at McDonald's, featuring our regular hamburger for only 59 cents. So take a break from the holiday shopping race, and we'll give your wallet a break.
You know the one, McDonald's, for food, folks, and fun.
Now, during Holiday Shopper Survival Days, get a delicious McDonald's hamburger for only 59 cents, for a limited time only.
Well, Dan Marino has thrown his second touchdown pass of the game, and the Dolphins now lead Seattle 24-10. Miami trying to keep pace with Buffalo, which would set up A tremendous confrontation in Buffalo next Sunday, and most of the country will be seeing Miami at Buffalo.
Guess who has that game? We do.
Looking forward to that one as Fennerty gets the call on first down. Always a delight to visit your hometown, Paul.
That's right.
That'll be next Sunday, starting with NFL Live, 12:30 Eastern Time. Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and O.J. Simpson. The rest of the scoreboard, Dallas now with a 27-3 lead over Phoenix. Indianapolis maintaining its lead, and Cleveland in front of Atlanta. Cleveland trying to stop an 8-game losing streak. Atlanta's dropped 6 in a row.
Probably a whole lot of people watching that game, huh?
Paul, in whatever areas it's being seen, you know folks are watching the game. Second down and 8. And Fennerty was tripped up. So Gil Fennerty getting most of the action once again. This is similar to a week ago. Ruben Mays drawing the start, but Fennerty came on and ran for 104 yards. It is a third down and 9 from the 33. The Steelers and the Saints are tied at 3.
And you can bet if they don't pick up this first down, Morton Anderson's coming in, because this would be, right now, it would be another 50-yard field goal because they go 7 yards from where the ball is.
Well, he's 3 for 3 from 50-plus, turning it from last year where he had his difficulties in that department. Here's Walsh gunning it. A good effort by Eric Martin. Reaching out for the marker. We'll have to see where they spotted it. Larry Griffin on the tackle.
Eric Martin, yes, but Larry Griffin, you're absolutely right. What a tremendous defensive play that Griffin makes. All right, here's Martin to the outside. Walsh gets the ball to him. But watch what number 22 does. He makes sure that he has Eric Martin, first of all, by the shirt. He's pulling him back from the first down. They don't have the first down. Morton Anderson is in, but that is just a super defensive play. And then number 27, Thomas Everett, comes in and takes the final shot.
And Anderson will attempt from 43 yards away. The angle to the left. Barnhart will put it down. He hit from 50 earlier today.
Get that one, too.
He drills it.
Chip shot.
Anderson with a 43-yard field goal. Gary Anderson of the Steelers admires as he looks on.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legends set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
Has anybody thought about dynamite?
In 1859, Isaac Cook created a Great American Champagne to launch the Great American Clipper ships. Today, people are still launching celebrations with Cook's Imperial American Champagne.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By Scope, the best thing first thing in the morning. By Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Morton Anderson with a 43-yard field goal to give the Saints a 6-3 lead. We're early in the fourth quarter. Good high kick handled by Woodson to the 10. tremendous hit. Benny Thompson going at Woodson head on.
Well, Ironhead told us yesterday about Benny Thompson that he is absolutely nuts on kickoffs. Watch this. You're going to see him all the way. Benny Thompson, number 37, and the picture will tell it all. Right here, he takes on the blocker. Now watch this. Bing! What a great play. Hello, Benny.
And Rod Woodson will be feeling it tomorrow. He's taking some pretty good shots.
Isn't he something?
And he's trying to get the crowd back into it. First down from the 17. Eddie Thompson signed as a free agent last year and spent his time on the developmental squad. Brister able to complete for the first down. Mike Malarkey stopped by the free safety, Gene Atkins.
First time today we call Malarkey's name, and this is an excellent receiver for Bubby Brister. But when you take a look at these stats, Marv, through 3 quarters, now you see the white part where you talk about 44-yard rushing. That wouldn't be so bad if yards passing were up around the 200-yard mark, but they're not. So what you're telling you, what this thing is telling you, the Saints defense, they've been just shutting them down from running the football and passing the football.
Pittsburgh first down at the 34, 3 minutes gone by, and the 4th quarter. Worley for a short pickup. Vaughn Johnson making the stop. Vaughn Johnson, inside linebacker, made it to the Pro Bowl last year. Had a strong game against the Rams last week. Cincinnati and the LA Raiders. Second half of our doubleheader here on NBC. Raiders next Saturday here on NBC against the Minnesota Vikings. That'll start at 3:30 Eastern time, but just ahead. Huge game for both the Bengals and the Raiders. Right here on NBC. Second down and 7 from the 37. Brister in a crowd. He was able to dump it off. And again connected with Malarkey. That was not the design of that play.
Boy, Bubby stayed in there a long time, and he does take a shot. And he will take a shot, and he's trying to find, looking downfield. Malarkey is just a checkoff man, number 84. You see Malarkey get rid of his block here, and that's the man that hits him, Ricky Jackson, after Malarkey gets off him. But he does catch the ball and pick up another 3 yards. But that was Malarkey's man who made the tackle.
Third down and 2. Still no word as to whether Boomer Esiason will start for the Bengals against the Raiders. If Boomer can't go, they go to the other left-hander. Sam Weish to the bullpen for Eric Wilhelm. And Brister again facing the big rush. Shovel pass for the first down. Merrill Hodge on the shovel has picked it up, stopped by Jackson and Mills.
Boy, I'm going to tell you something. Ricky Jackson is so active. The linebackers, and you said it right at the beginning, probably 4 best in the game together as a unit, but they're coming after Brister, and you want to see a heads-up play. Here comes, first of all, that Joe can block in here. Jackson is there, but watch what Brister does. You talk about heads-up. He's being tackled. He just flips the ball to Merrill Hodge. They pick up the first down. This is a great defensive football game.
And folks back in the Pittsburgh area very familiar with number 57. Start for a Pitt team that had 19 players from the class of 1981 drafted. Ricky Jackson, though, was a defensive end at Pittsburgh. Brister again got hammered, and that's incomplete. Intended for Green, who tried to come back for it. It will be a 2nd and 10 from the 47.
That was Brett Maxey, number 39, is putting the heat on. They just ran a blitz, and you didn't have enough people to pick up the secondary. Maxey, that's the second time that he's been in Brister's face today. You know, you don't allow for this. Watch what happens. Here comes Brister. Watch, there's just nobody to block Maxey, number 39, and Brister throws the ball. At least he threw it this time outside, away from the defenders, and not downfield where it could be picked off.
6 minutes in. 4th quarter. The Saints 6. The Steelers 3. On the draw, it is Hodge. Merrill Hodge with the running room has a first down. Stopped by Sam Mills. Vaughn Johnson also involved.
Watch Merle Hodge now set up the blockers on the outside. He looks to the outside. He's going to set up his blockers. Blankenship and Jackson are out there. Watch this. He sets them up to make the blocks, and then he comes back to the inside to pick up the first down. It's great running.
Merle Hodge began the season slowly, as did the entire Pittsburgh offense, but he has come out at one point going into week 4, 19 carries, 20 yards. Pittsburgh not able to do it on the ground to this point, although that run by Hodge a good sign.
That's the problem. 2.9 yards per rush. That's nothing.
Back to the run, and Hodge this time has stopped, so the flag comes flying.
A lot of flags. A lot of flags. Here he goes, a drive. You're in a drive. And is it against? It's against New Orleans. Now, this is one that I can't understand. This is a running play, and you have defensive holding.
Illegal hands. Number 91 on defense to the face. 5-yard penalty.
Okay.
Automatic first down.
I see the fist is holding. The open hand is a legal hand. Right in the center of your screen. You cannot put your hands in the face. There it is. Illegal hands. Isn't that number 91? Isn't that awful? Illegal hands.
Robert Pig Golf.
Boy, and and this is not disrespect, folks, because Marv actually asked that question, and that's an automatic first down. But Marv asked that question about Pig, and they said, when the PR guy said, if you call him by anything other than Pig, he won't respond.
Yes. That was a nickname given to Robert Goff as a child by his oldest brother, and it was given in affectionate fashion.
Oh, I sorted at him yesterday. I got it. He liked it.
Robert Pig Golf, third year out of Auburn. First down for the Steelers at the 35. Brister finding the open man. Hodge broke the tackle and runs it for the first down.
Massey had the first shot at him. Marvin missed him. This is just, I mean, Brister, if you talk about some heads-up play in this drive getting the ball off, Hodge is going to come break out to the outside. He goes off with Green. Now Massey makes the mistake. He goes inside with Green too far. But watch this. Instead of breaking down and getting himself set, he almost overruns the play. Hodge breaks the tackle and picks up the first down.
A 14-yard advance. Now Callaway left, Stone right. Try to cross him up with a draw, but Worley was stopped.
You know, when I look at that play there, it just looks like the defense is so aggressive for New Orleans. They actually ran by Worley on that last play. They could have had him for a loss in the backfield. But just take a look at Worley now. Right here, here goes Goff. He's by. Swilling is way up the field. And Worley just breaks, not a good tackle, but breaks the tackle and picks up about 3 yards on the play.
Yes, it is second down and 7 at the 17. Again, Green in motion. Brister throwing end zone, intended for Green. And he was covered by the free safety, Gene Atkins.
Pat Swilling was coming from the backside, and the backside is the blind side of the quarterback on the right-handed quarterback. 56 is coming by. Malarkey's trying to block, and then Swilling actually only gets him by the shirt because he's being blocked. Hodge got a piece of it, so did Malarkey, number 84 and 33.
53 is Vaughn Johnson, one of the NFL's premier inside linebackers. There's Pat Swilling. It's a 3rd and 7. 6.5 to go, 4th quarter. Steelers in possession, trailing the Saints 6-3. Brister for Hodge again. And a penalty marker is down as Hodge is bumped down at around the 2-yard line.
Now, Ricky Jackson is saying holding on Pittsburgh. Maxey said it's holding. Pittsburgh's walking back. Boy, Hodge was kind of wide open. It looked like they forgot all about him.
And a 16-yard pass play has been wiped out.
Pass interference on the offense. Number 84, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
They run a pick, and that's Malarkey. That's why Hodge was wide open. When Malarkey goes across the middle, he picks off the safety. It's not a holding penalty, as Ricky Jackson insinuated, but it's as good as one. 10-yard penalty.
Sends it back to a 3rd and 17 at the 27. Inside handoff for Hodge. The Hodge stopped at the 25 by Ricky Jackson.
There's a play called that sets up a field goal, and that's actually all that play can do for you, because you've got 17 yards or better to go. You're playing for the tie.
And Gary Anderson 1 for 2, missed from 46. He hit from 29. This a 42-yard attempt. Krasinski the holder. Angle is to the right.
He's got it.
And Anderson puts it through. So Gary Anderson has been able to match Morton Anderson, who appreciates the work of Gary. Game tied at 6. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, listen up.
27 million Americans are illiterate. Albert Davis was one of them.
My dear family, for all these years, I have wanted to write about what you mean to me, but I could not write.
Look for this Coors Light display. Learn how you can help. Teach someone to read.
Today, I can read.
Recently, Acura introduced what many have called the greatest sports car the world has ever known. Our latest idea is somewhat bigger. The new Acura Legend.
It happens while you sleep.
A kiss? Not yet, honey.
Millions of bacteria form in your mouth.
A kiss? No.
So you wake up with the worst breath of the day. Morning breath.
Oh, honey.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Antiseptic Scope has 2 powerful ingredients that kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
How about that kiss?
Where's my kiss?
Kiss me, you big lug.
Scope. Original mint or peppermint. The best thing first thing in the morning.
The Bengals. The Raiders. Boomer and Bo. Next.
2 of the NFL's best place kickers, Morton Anderson and Gary Anderson. Not related. Morton hailing from Denmark and attended Michigan State. Gary Anderson in his 9th year out of Syracuse. Anderson just tied him with a 42-yard kick. Game even at 6. 5:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. Fennerty reaching out near the 20, went for 17. And Steve Walsh and the Saints offense back on.
There it is, 5:14. And I tell you, with these 2 field goal kickers, you know, you just got to know it's going to end in a field goal. But which Anderson will get it?
You have the script all ready for us, Paul.
Oh, yeah. 9-6 ball game. 9's going to win it.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Saints from their 20. Ruben Mays trying to go wide. And it's Carnell Lake up from his strong safety position to make the stop. Set for another update. Let's go to Bob Costas.
All right, oh, marvelous one, and it's double bad news for the Chiefs at Arrowhead. First, Warren Moon dropping back to throw. He hits Haywood Jeffries, who had caught 7 passes for 216 yards today. This one covers 87 for a touchdown. Moon's second TD throw of the afternoon, his league-leading 31st of the season. Then Steve DeBerg, the Kansas City quarterback, dislocates a finger on his left hand, his non-throwing hand, replaced by Steve Pallure. Houston 17, Kansas City 10.
All right, Bob, and back here in New Orleans, a 2nd and 12 from the 18. Walsh tried to dump it off, but overthrew, and he continues to struggle. That intended for Brent Perryman.
Well, the reason he struggled on this last play because it was one of the few times the Pittsburgh Steelers blitzed. There's Ironhead is down. He'll be up. But this is one of the few times that the Steelers blitzed. And when they set the dog in there, Walsh didn't read it right away and just threw the ball away.
It'll be a 3rd down and 12. And here's Walsh. And again incomplete. Paul, you know, he has not only been going incomplete, but he has been so far off. We talked with him yesterday about the differences between the receivers here and in Dallas. Of course, it's a different system, but he points out, and this can be good and bad, that the receivers here kind of ad-lib their routes.
Well, what they do is the receivers coming off the line, if they read zone or man-to-man, depending, the receivers are the ones that make the adjustments. Now, in Dallas, when he was there, the quarterback knew where the receiver was going to be no matter what it was. Now the receiver can read and do whatever he wants to, and the quarterback must read not only the defensive man, but the receiver.
He pointed out that the receivers in Dallas were more disciplined, and here they'll make decisions perhaps at the end of the route. Here's Woodson. Rod Woodson with a nice return. Run out by John Tice, 47-yard punt, and a 14-yard return.
Upon its introduction, the first Acura Legends set a new standard for performance sedans. But as impressive as that may have been, it was merely a reflection of things to come. Introducing the new Legend from Acura.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. You can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Hey! When you're out street hiking, you better know how to read the terrain. Do your best to preserve the wildlife, because street hikers don't just walk, they hike. Fresh shoes, Joe. Hey!
To make wrenching fast and easy, you can either do this, or get this, the Skill Wrench Cordless Power Wrench. It's revolutionary.
Tuesday, an anchorman covers his own death.
I know it's only a matter of time.
From AIDS, the controversial, critically acclaimed episode. Life Stories on NBC, Tuesday.
First, Woodson runs by Benny Thompson, number 37. But watch who makes the tackle. Hayward, number 34, is going to be down below. And then here comes Hayward in underneath. And then Tice, number 82, on top. He hits here. And when Woodson gets up, he just throws the ball at Tice because he knows he got hurt. Bink, get him in that nice throw, though. In the ground position. He's up. A little tender, but he'll be all right.
And Pittsburgh from midfield. Game tied at 6. Hodge. Pittsburgh trying to get it going again on the ground. A couple of nice runs on that last series by Merrill Hodge. Hodge with 11 carries, 36 yards. Worley has run for only 29. That's been it on the ground.
But one of the things that's been successful for Pittsburgh throwing the ball, Marv, is that when Bubby Brister runs that same action that they run there, but he bootlegs, he comes out all by himself, and then using the tight end is in position, they hit him with the ball. See if he tries it in this situation here.
He has a 2nd and 7.
Here it comes.
Yes, here it is. Nice call.
Fake.
And able to complete to the tight end, Mike Malarkey. So Paul running those plays in from up above.
I should be calling the defenses. I mean, that's the same play. They just come back and they run a bootleg off it and hit Malarkey, the tight end.
Pittsburgh has a first down. They have a first down at the New Orleans 40-yard line. Game is tied at 6 on field goals by Morton and Gary Anderson. Gary from 29 and 42. Morton of New Orleans from 50 and 43.
Well, what the Steelers would like to do here is just really get one more first down. That would put them in secure field goal position.
Off the draw, Worley. He went for about 4. Clock running down to 3 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. The Steelers with a record of 7-6 in a 3-way tie with Cincinnati and Houston for the AFC Central lead. And New Orleans fighting for its playoff life. Last week's win over the Rams kept the playoff hopes alive. They are 6-7, and they are in the middle of the pack with 3 other clubs that are 6-7. The Eagles at 7-6. Second down, about 5. Stone comes across. Hodge. Oh, boy, he fought his way through a couple of New Orleans defenders.
See, and here's the situation with New Orleans. Even though they have 3 timeouts, you really can't afford to take one here. And I don't think they can afford to take a timeout here. They're going to, but they shouldn't. Because the reason I'm saying that is because that they are looking at field goal range too, so they've got to get the ball downfield. Walsh has not been able to throw the ball that well. They're going to have to run the ball to get it there, so they're going to have to use their timeouts later on. Now is not the time, especially with a 3rd and 1 situation, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are already in field goal range as far as Gary Anderson is concerned.
And 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain in this fourth quarter. Take a look at the remaining schedule for Pittsburgh next week. They're home for Cleveland December 30th. In the regular season finale, they are at Houston. Now, to clinch the division, they would have to win their final 3, and then Cincinnati would also have to lose. While New Orleans next week at San Francisco, and they close here against the Los Angeles Rams.
The problem with Pittsburgh is that they only have, 1 win in their division. That's where the problem is.
Pittsburgh lost to Cleveland on opening day, and they beat Houston at home in week 2. 3rd down and 1. Hodge, and he battles for the first down. Harold Hodge with a terrific second effort.
See, this is where that first down, or that timeout that they took just didn't make much sense at all. Let them go down to the 2 minutes. Now you're going to take another timeout. It's first down. You're going to waste a timeout here because they're hoping to get, they get to 1 to 2 minutes, so they actually have 2 left. Not good. Not good. Because especially your passing game is not working very well. And the Steelers are going to sit back and give you the short stuff, and you're not going to have any timeouts. The best thing that you've been doing all day long, New Orleans against Pittsburgh, is running the football, and you're not going to have enough time. Here's the situation. First down is going to run this clock down to 2 minutes. They're going to run the ball 2 more times with 45 seconds both times on the clock. I mean, you're just not going to get the ball back in time. They're going to kick a field goal, and you're not going to have the time to move it.
So the timeouts remaining, Pittsburgh with their 3, and New Orleans with 1 left. 2:05 to go in this fourth quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints are tied at 6. The one good opportunity for the Saints, the closest we were to a touchdown. Fennerty in the second quarter coughed it up with a 1st and goal at the 1. And Worley is stopped back behind the line. And he has really had a tough time in the second half. Now 2 minutes left. In the fourth, we'll be back after these messages.
Radio Shack's sale price compact disc players are showing up everywhere this Christmas. Under Bob's dashboard. This high-powered Optimus CD player fits any car. Under Debbie's pillow. With this portable CD, she can listen to music anywhere. Under our bookshelves, where we can all enjoy this Optimus programmable CD player with remote control.
Put a sale-priced CD player under your tree this Christmas. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
Recently, Acura introduced what many have called the greatest sports car the world has ever known. Our latest idea is somewhat bigger. The new Acura Legend.
When the only thing better than making it to the top is making it to the bottom.
It's the right beer now.
Because you know looking good isn't just for summer.
It's the right beer now.
Because you know winter's the time to turn up the heat. So call for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's the right beer now.
Coming up next, the second half of our doubleheader. That's a key game. Cincinnati Bengals and the L.A. Raiders. Raiders delighted with the score out of Kansas City today. The Chiefs trailing Houston 20-10 in the fourth quarter. Houston looking to go to 8-6. Kansas City would drop to 9-5. Miami looking to keep pace with the Buffalo Bills. They're in front of Seattle in the fourth. Dallas leads Phoenix. Indianapolis over the Jets. And Cleveland seeking to stop the losing streak at 8. Of course, Atlanta has lost 6 in a row. And next Saturday, more football here on NBC. Raiders and the Vikings. And a full slate on Sunday. That's the big one. The Dolphins and the Bills from Buffalo. As we resume, Brister off the roll. Brister couldn't find anybody and went down at the 25-yard line. We're down to 1:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. The game tied at 6. Let's check in with Bob Costas in New York.
Marv, an absolutely stupendous day for Warren Moon in Kansas City, backpedaling here with the completion to Drew Hill that covers 57 yards. It sets up a Teddy Garcia field goal of 26 yards. Houston increases their lead at Kansas City to 20-10 in the fourth.
All right, Bob, and New Orleans has just taken its final timeout. They stopped the clock with 1:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh with their 3 still on the board. The game is tied at 6, and when we resume, it'll be Steeler ball, 3rd down and 6 from the 25, and perhaps coming up another field goal opportunity for Gary Anderson. Anderson has hit 2 of 3. He missed from 46, but he has connected from 29 and from 42.
All right, what they do here now is get the clock started. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, what I think they're going to do is they'll run a play, obviously, and then let the clock run all the way down to 1 or 2 seconds, and then call a timeout. Use one of theirs. They're not going to need it anyway. And let most of that clock go off and get it inside of a minute.
3rd down, 6 from the 25. Brister throwing the middle, and it is almost picked off.
I don't believe it. I don't believe they threw the ball.
Toy Cook very upset that he could not hold on.
I really am in shock that they threw the ball here. I mean, you could pick up 2 or 3 yards, get you closer to the field goal, but to throw a pass here and look at what Brister throws it. Pat Swilling is in the backfield. He clocks Brister, but look at where this ball is thrown. There is double coverage downfield. Had no business throwing that ball.
It's a 43-yard attempt, and Anderson puts it through. The Steelers take a 9-6 lead as Gary Anderson again hits from long range. Gary Anderson, a major part of the Steelers' late run last season, went 7 for 7 in the playoffs, having another excellent campaign. He missed earlier from 46, but he's hit his last 3, so he is now 20 for 23 for the season.
You know, we have that Miami-Buffalo game next week, and you know that Gary Anderson was cut. I mean, everybody knows the story, but cut by the Buffalo Bills. They couldn't use him.
But that always happens with place kickers. Guys don't make it in one particular city and then move on and have great success elsewhere.
Well, now it's Morton says, my turn. All the scoring by the Andersons. 15 points. Gary happens to have 9 of them.
However, the Saints are out on timeouts with 1:44 remaining in this fourth quarter. Word on Rod Woodson, who was shaken up off that last return, is that was the case. Shaken up, but he's all right and will be back if needed.
Well, I see him on the sideline. He's got his helmet on. He's ready to go in.
Gary Anderson will kick it off. Steelers 9 and the Saints 6. And it is Fennerty on the return. And a flag thrown. Fennerty getting across the 30. Richard Bell made the stop. A 32-yard kickoff return.
Well, they threw a flag right at Hobie Brenner, number 85. And the Saints are backing up.
Illegal block, number 85 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Hobie. You know, I mean, that was an excellent return. They have no timeouts. There goes some more gray stuff going in his hair. Woo. Number 85, Hobie Brenner, right from the back. Look at this. That's Osowski, I think, number 55. Yep, that's who it is. I mean, how many times I told you last week? If you can see a number and a name, don't hit it. You can see the number, and that's all. You can hit that.
Saints first down from their 10. Walsh. Williams got a piece of it. Steve Walsh 7 for 21 in what has been a very long afternoon. Late September, he was acquired from Dallas for a first-round pick and a third in next spring's draft, plus a possible first in '92. That's conditional depending on how well Walsh plays. Bobby Hebert held out, and as a result, the quarterback sweepstakes have been up in the air. John Corcade had his difficulties earlier in the season, and Steve Walsh is the #1 man. Now he stepped up and goes deeper and able to complete for the first down.
I'm going to tell you something. That ball was caught out of bounds by Alfin. His leg was out of bounds when he caught the ball. On the right-hand side of the screen. I know. Look at his right leg. He's out of... His left leg, excuse me, facing this way, he's out of bounds.
Very good pickup, Paul. You're right.
Well, and there's 2 of those guys in shirts. You bet. Hey, whoa, there's 2 guys in shirts over there. You know, striped guy?
Well, they will review it. It's been a very quiet day for instant replay. Royal Cathcart is the man in the booth.
But if they went back and we had another angle, you could clearly show where his leg, and I could see it. We're looking at it from across the field, up high, where he was out of bounds when he caught the ball.
But it is difficult to tell. You're checking it out from the naked eye, and we're at the other side of the field, and this is the only angle we can show you. Now, it's possible that he's not out of bounds. Very tough to tell. It looks like he might be, but you don't know. And here are the 2 the officials.
After further review, play stands as called on the field. Completion, first down.
I'm certain that in the booth they said it was inconclusive because you couldn't tell.
Exactly.
So it holds up. First down at the 26. 1:27 left in this fourth quarter, and the Saints trailing the Steelers 9-6. Walsh goes to the middle, and it is dropped. Gerald Alfin not able to hold on.
Well, all this play was going to do is consume some time. You could see on the top of David Johnson, number 44, gets tangled up, but this ball hits Alfin.